Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome into round number 2 of the 2026 Pro Motocross Championship in MX Simulator. Live here on Start Your Systems TV, my name is Kellen Brower, and I am stoked to bring you guys the action from Hangtown. It is the Hangtown Motocross Classic in MX Simulator here tonight, of course, put on by our friends at Race Factory Gaming. If you missed the opening round last week, well, the champions coming in did not win the opening round in either class, so we've got some fun storylines in both classes to talk about here tonight, including the current points leader in the 450 class not even racing in his home country here tonight for round 2 of this championship. So a lot of fun storylines to roll into round 2 with, and of course we're going to start off by talking about qualifying, shall we? These guys have had a full day of qualifying to run the gamuts back and try to see what they could do on this Hangtown racetrack, which we'll talk about in just a moment. But yeah, Hangtown here tonight. Seth Carr, your defending champion, goes fastest at a 151.156. You think he isn't fired up after a rough weekend at Paula last weekend to start off his championship? He goes 0.6 faster than anybody else. Wyatt Grant, Cade Matherly in the mix as well. But you'll notice between Wyatt Grant and Cade Matherly is a pretty healthy margin. Over 2 seconds, 2.5 seconds total in that gap. And clearly Carr and Grant have got something figured out at the front of the field. We'll be keen to see what they do once the races start here in a little bit of time. But you'll notice our championship leader, little further down the list, the number 2 machine of Braden Carter, a 155.296. Now, he is only about a second off of that Matherly time in third place, so not too far back, but obviously a little bit further down the order after his maiden 450 race win outdoors last weekend at Paula. He had never won an overall, and he won last week to get the job done. But he is racing on the other side of the Atlantic here tonight. He is normally obviously at his home in California. He is staying at his girlfriend's house. Shout out Alexandra, who he is staying with. And yeah, so he is going to be running a little bit of so-so internet tonight, so he tells me at least, and going to try to make it through, but we'll see how he does, and we'll talk about that as the night goes on. If you look at qualifying times down the order, Fast 36, of course, the times to get in, a 157.7, so you had to be just a little off 6 seconds from the top time, but seriously, only a little slower than a few seconds off of that second place time is Austin Bear there in the mix, getting in just at the nick of time to make it through. Everybody else back of this list that you'll see down the order is going to the consolation race, which we will have coming up in a few moments. If we switch over to our 250 motocross class, well, champs following one another in each division. Braden Tharp, after second last week, running the number 1 plate, goes fastest here tonight at Hangtown with a 155.929, but it is close between Jake Spiess, who he obviously contended with in the 250 East Division earlier this season, 156 flat for Spiess. Colin Allen, who won the first moto last week, a 56.4 also in the mix. Cash Woods, Luke Sullivan, all there as well. But similar to our championship leader in the 450 class, our championship leader in the 250 class, a so-so qualifying for him tonight. That is Mr. Jackson Vick, who did not win a moto last week at Paula, but does come in with the red plate here tonight. 10th fastest in qualifying at a 156.882, so a little less than a second off of Tharp's time, but I think when they drop the gate, it really does not matter. 36 time for those watching at home, 58.929, so 55.9 to a 58.9, basically. 3 second gap between our Fast 36 qualifiers. If you ran a 59 like Tyler Valentine and on back, you are headed to the consolation race here tonight, and there's going to be a healthy host of guys in that mix, so crazy to see that as well. Here's a look at your point standings into tonight. As we mentioned, Carter with the red plate by 3 points over Seth Carr, Tyler Lang and Walter Gebhardt right there in the mix as well, Alexis Leclerc and Cade Matherly. All of those guys tied for what would have been third overall last week. It went to T. Lang, who obviously had the better second moto score, but you can see all of them 11 points back as well. Payson Johnson, who missed the second moto, still just 18 down. Wyatt Grant, of course, second fastest qualifier tonight, also 18 down. And then in the 250 class, it's Vic from Tharp and Johnny Padani, only 8 points back of Jackson Vick. Logan Leitzel had a great opening round last week as well, as did Elliot Person. They are all in the top 5 and ready to do battle here tonight at Hangtown. Here's an overlook at this racetrack. Of course, the Hangtown Classic has not changed too much in the past 2 or 3 years. I think they went to this layout about 2 years ago with that long stretch down the downhill after the hip table out of turn number 3. And that's pretty much the main change that's really been a lot different in the past 5 or 6 years, because of course they used to have a few different sections after the big fly 150 jump that turned around. That's now different. It goes just straight to the back. U-turns before the old finish line jump. The new finish line jump, of course, jumps back onto the start straight. So there's a couple differences with this racetrack out there, but not too much different from last year to this year. Basically, the same layout that you guys would have seen in MX Sim last year is back. And the only difference really, of course, is where they laid the bumps out and where they put the ruts in the corners. That is going to be the telltale sign on this racetrack. We are going to have our 250 consolation race going up here first tonight. If you're just joining us for the first time ever watching Pro Motocross and MX Simulator, it is essentially a real-life format. We have 2 consolation races and then 2 motos for each class. The consolation races go 4 laps. Top 4 riders transfer into the main motos. Everybody else headed home a little bit early. And then we jump into the motos, 2 30-minute plus 2-lap motos as well. So you'll want to keep an eye on where your favorite racer is out there this evening. And we got our board up here on the left-hand side that shows you guys that for your guys' viewing pleasure. So we'll jump into this consi here, which is quite full. I think we've got somewhere, let's see if I get official tally up on this site. We have got 35 dudes ready to do battle in this consi. It's great to see such good turnout early on in this championship. So many riders ready to do battle. Just broke my controller. Not even racing and out here breaking my controller. But good to see a lot of people hanging out in chat as well. A couple quick shout-outs. Dominic22B, 7-up, 12 months in with his Prime subs on a 5-month streak right now. Let us know that he's saying yo in the chat. Love to see that. As well as my guy Tim Brooks, 293, using that Prime sub over on Twitch as well. His 9th month of using it. So thank you so much, Mr. Tim Brooks and Dominic22B, for the support. Also, shout out to my fellow friends over on YouTube. We got Ethan MXB up in here, Lee Simon, Tanner Bauman. We got Gary Winthrop, MX Stiley 312. Brendan Kennedy is here tonight as well. My dude is always asking the good questions in chat. TK11, Maverick Cop, OGPPC is here as well. Of course, that's Braden Carter saying hopefully he scores some points tonight. Maybe the laptop will hold up. We'll have to see how it does here tonight. All right, folks, it's time to go racing here at Hangtown. We've led you through everything that we need to lead into round 2 of tonight's championship. And we've got 4 laps on the docket ready for these guys to do some battle. This is probably the most nerve-wracking race of the night because these guys need to have a good start or they will be on their way out of here and headed to the cheap seats a little bit early tonight. So where will that start come from? This is a good indicator to watch here in this consi. Let's go racing here in the NorCal of Hangtown. Those ruts into turn number 1, ever so treacherous as we see a few guys jump out as 3 wide through the whole shot line. Bodie Parker, who won a 450 Supercross earlier this year, has found himself in tonight's 250 consi, but he is going to rip the stats guy whole shit as they lead up the hill on lap number 1. Tommy Liberta up here in 2nd, Devin Johnson in 3rd, Jackson Lindsay in 4th. Tell you what, folks, there are some heavy hitters in these consolation races early in the season. Love to see the contention and a full gate, really, for both classes early in the championship. Always really exciting to see as we head up the hill on lap number 1. It is Parker, Johnson, Lindsay, and now Tyler Perez up the inside. Colt Nichols Mechanic, Lawson Dye on the District Designs 472, right there in the 5th position, off to a good start. Hopefully his boy Colt is watching at home. He's going to see his guy move up into 4th place as we lose Tyler Perez on the 435 out of that 4th position. So instead, Tyler Valentine's going to be right there. He's going to get that quad double up the uphill and make that pass into the final transfer spot. Everybody going to the far outside here at the top of the hill. And, of course, these consolation races will give us a little bit of indication as to what the lines will be when we go racing here for the main motos here in just a little bit. But Bodie Parker is currently showing us the hot lines around this racetrack in the race lead. Yogi Designs, Honda program, number 32, out front cruising. I gotta say, I feel like the Yogi Hondas, that team, the whole setup, even though they're running Fox head to toe, it's a little bit different. Kind of reminds me of the SLR look, which I think the SLR Honda team is absolutely sick. Their bikes always look really, really nice in my opinion. And I feel like the Yogi teams kind of remind me of that a little bit. So, I don't know. Maybe a call out to my boy Slamuels. But it is going to be Parker who leads lap number 1. Devin Johnson P2. Jackson Lindsay P3. And Lawson Dye into 4th. But he's under attack up the inside is Brandon Walther. StrotMotoLive.com. Suzuki closes in the 688. We also got Dylan Roper and Ryan Swanson right there in the background as well. Look at that run from Walther. Ooh, and Lawson Dye almost stacks it up a little bit. Going to lose 2 positions, and Dylan Roper gets a twofer up the inside and through the hip jump at the top of the hill into that 4th position. Working lap 2 of 4, 250 consolation race here at Hangtown and MX Simulator. Off and running for round 2 of this championship, and boy is it great to be back in the great outdoors, watching these guys rev out these 250 engines for all they're worth. Got some 5th gear bombs down these hills. Just click it up and hold it wide until you're all the way at the bottom and you need to start braking. Roper looking strong early on as he's pulling away from Lawson Dye, who has had to revert to the quad double up the hill. Have to imagine the 450 boys might even get a 5-2 up there. So Lawson Dye has to go to the drawing board here a little bit. We'll go on board with the District Designs 472. Get an onboard perspective of this racetrack here at Hangtown. Again, similar layout, but what changes from year to year? Well, the track creator every year kind of lays out new ruts, new lines, the way that the track deforms. And you remember last week to Paula, man, was it ever a rough racing surface. Now this week I feel slightly tamed down as Lawson Dye takes a little bit of liberties off track right there to gain some time. But yeah, so the lines are a little bit different. The ruts layout a little bit different. The bumps are in different spots. And of course, as the race goes on, the track also breaks down lap after lap. So it's always kind of cool to see how these guys adapt to it. Of course, basically a full day of qualifying. It's a little different than what we have in Underground RC Supercross, where these guys only get an hour on the racetrack indoors, but then outdoors we give them a little bit more time. A lot to learn on these outdoor tracks, over 2-minute lap times and way more variation from section to section than we get indoors. Lawson Dye is just closing right up to Dylan Roper as he go for an inside here at the top of the hill as we jump back to the outboard cameras. Whoa, Dye gets sideways at the bottom of the hill and goes down. So Roper gets away. Lindsey, Johnson, and Parker are getting away at the front of the field quite nicely. They've got 5 seconds back to Dylan Roper. But you can never be too comfortable in these types of races. One little mistake and you could be off the racing machine. New to MX Bikes this week, if you haven't been paying attention, is a fall-off feature in the game. But if you have been following MX Simulator since around 2010, we have had that feature. And those things can reach up and bite you at the worst possible time. A little case or just like that, a swap coming down the downhill, and Devin Johnson is off the machine. He is going to lose a few positions, but still remount in transfer ever so barely. That's about a 9-second legs off crash for the 178. And he now slips back into the 4th and final transfer spot, and that's going to allow Lawson Dye to have a new carrot, proverbially speaking, dangling in front of him as the white flag waves here at Hangtown. 1 lap to go in this Consi. Can Johnson hold on? Or was Lawson Dye have a late charge in him? Yo-Yo, I'm not too sure if there's any changes to the Hangtown track IRL this year. I hadn't heard anything coming into it. The Dirt Diggers always throw some late curveballs to us, so perhaps they did. But they seem to be pretty happy with this layout the past couple of years, so we'll see. It's tightening up just a little bit halfway through the lap here. Oh, and there it goes. Lost and died. Down and out of the race. Disconnected before he even stopped crashing. And that, my friend, is what we call a rage quit in the game. But that's okay. He's going to go spin the wrenches for his guy Colt this weekend and make the 45 machine look great at Hangtown. Hopefully puts that bike up front. RM Army, baby. Battle for the lead on the final lap of the race is brewing. Jackson Lindsay putting the heat on Bodie Parker. And look at that inside move, showing us a couple different options now on this racetrack. Stepping up to that inside run at the top of the hill here is always critical. And Bodie Parker using that outside to inline, charging down the hill, getting a bit of a gap. And this is his for the taking. One turn left to go as he comes down over the old finish line jump through the new final corner of the track. Bodie Parker wins the 250 consolation race here at Hangtown. It's going to be Jackson Lindsay second, Dylan Roper third, and Devin Johnson holding on that late charge from Lawson Dye to take fourth place in this one. So everybody else back of this: Tyler Valentine, Logan Mortberg, Evan Runzeville, Raphael Provost, Dylan Gatlin, Tyler Perez, Darius Peterson, Trevin Thompson, Evan Cormack, Aaron Hatchie, Lawson Dye, Talon Becerra, Jared Gummison, Tommy Liberta, Seth Devers, Brandon Walther, Tristan Powell, Gannon Lawson, Brendan Kennedy, Ryan Swanson, Brady Olson, Josh Crummett, Jake Kazarian, Russell Cruz, Jose Famador, Brandon Nygren, Connor Smiley, Cody Wells, Will Now, and Jace Williams all headed home early. And you have to go all the way up to 14th place to find someone who didn't rage quit this race. And I will say, look, everyone pays an entry fee to get in here tonight. Maybe you paid the season pass, so it's a little bit different, but if you're going to pay the money to race, do all the laps, you know. You're not going to make it. I'm understanding the frustration of missing out on making it into the motos when you felt like you could have, but I would do all the laps. Aaron Hatchie is going to be the last guy to bring us home. He's Hachi done tonight, though, on the 253, going home a bit early. How about the ride for our leaders, though, Bodie Parker and Jackson Lindsay? Remember last week, the Consi boys in the 250 class, I don't know if it was extra track time or just seeing the track with more riders on it or what have you, but they came out blazing in the first moto. So I'm kind of curious to see if we'll see these two gentlemen. Outside gate pick here sucks at Hangtown, but maybe, just maybe, they could make something happen from out there. Come out guns blazing in the motos. So that is one of two consolation races done here tonight. Who's the Dr. Doom machine? Oh, the Devin Johnson. Yeah, you guys talking about that? What are my thoughts on the track from my guy BH50? You know, I think that this is one of the better layouts for Hangtown of all time, personally speaking. I still don't love the first corner here. I don't necessarily think the old first corner is any better, but I think that they could do something different here. I don't know what. I don't know if you turn the starting gate like 90 degrees and make it go like kind of up the hill and turn around or something like that to start. I think that would maybe be a little better. But this first turn here, especially IRL, always has the worst crashes. Like just the gnarliest, nastiest. A bike literally caught on fire because it lit a tough block on fire like 3 years ago because of how gnarly the crashes are here. So I think they could do something a little bit better with that layout. It sounds like maybe they're going to change it, according to Devil Doc in chat, which I think is much needed. I just think something different than what we got is going to be a little bit better on this track. But otherwise, I think the layout's pretty cool. I think it's absolutely necessary to go up and down the hills the way they do here. Change of elevation is always great on the tracks. And, yeah. My thoughts on my new kit, Luke Chef. I mean, honestly, chef's kiss to you, Mr. Chef. Excellent stuff. Love the Liat gear that I'm repping. Shout out to Liat, of course, part of the LVK More Than Moto podcast. And, yeah, I might be making a cheeky little Insta post to send some love your way, Luke, here soon for the gear. It's really, really good. Goes together with some of my Alpine Stars helmets I already had, so very, very stoked to rep it. And thank you so much for the help. Oh, God, I hope Elsinore never comes back as the national. All right, it is time for the 450 Consi. Only 14 guys in this, but they still want to make it. They still want to make it for sure, and it's time to go racing once again. 30 card sideways, revs are up, gate is down. 101 machine up the inside. That is B-Lars, Brandon Larson grabbing the stats guy. Whole shot. As he gets off to the early lead, Ashton Rakowski up in the 2 spot. Caden Pankow, Jacob Arnbrister up there as well. As B-Lars almost went for a bit of a ride into turn number 2 and allows Rakowski to get up there. Pretty clean start all around. It looks like we only got one guy down in turn number 1. And a launch and down the downhill. The 113 gets sideways, takes somebody with him. That was Austin Bridges and I believe Josh Gilmore perhaps going down as well. Or maybe Damon Evans who hit the deck. But it is Larson leading from Pankow. Good battle already for second. Former amateur motocross champion Jacob Arnbrister up in the 2 spot with Alex Munch. Ooh, going for a ride, and he goes down. That is going to put D-Mills 200 laps just to run the Consi. You hate to see it for the 595. Too busy with his golf game lately, perhaps, as he's going to run the 81 machine deep. 81 cuts back up underneath. That's J.R. Reyes. Carl Novak tried to get up the inside, make a pass on both of them. But D-Mills said, say psych right now. And Novak had to go backwards a little bit there. I think the only reason the pros train at Paula, Yo-Yo, is because there's no other tracks out there. As Arnbrister goes down, like literally, if you're a pro in California, it's Paula Tuesday, Kauai and/or Elsinore Wednesday, and then Glen Helen Thursday. That's your rotation. Like, you just got to keep hitting those 3 tracks because those are the only ones. This is all we got anymore, man. So many tracks are closing. Milestone's gone. LACR is gone. Racetown 395 is gone. Pyru is gone. And they just keep going, and not many people want to go all the way out to Cal City. That thing is deep. So on to lap number 2 we go. Brandon Larson from Pankow Mills, and now J.R. Reyes, who moved up into the transfer spot after Arnbrister went down off the Fly 150. I don't even know if that's what it's called anymore. Didn't someone told me, I think last year, it's like called what's it called? It's some crazy weird name now. Ooh, and J.R. Reyes pirouettes at the top of the hill. Oh, and he gets hit by Arnbrister as he gets going. I think that was a bit of a lofty track re-entry. And JGMX, my guy, Josh Gilmore. I want to talk about 2 legends of the opposite coin racing each other right now. Josh Gilmore, who is one of the most legendary track creators in MX Simulator history, is dealing with one of the most legendary racers in MX Simulator history. That is the Tyson Fresquez, 4-time Supercross champion, 2012 Pro Motocross champion, who is on JGMX for the 4th and final transfer spot of this Consi. Up the inside, Fresquez goes. He's going to try to swoop the outside to inline, but not close enough. Also, Reed Young, a.k.a. young Christoph Porcel back here on the 377 is closing up. Look at this battle. Oh, it's close over this big triple. I don't think it's called Big Gulp. I thought Big Gulp is at Buds. Big Gulp is the uphill triple of Buds. Or sometimes quad, if you play MX Simulator. I forget what it's called. Oh, Reed Young going down hard on the left-hand side of your screen. That's not going to be good for his chances to make it, as we have got 2 laps left to go this time by. We got to change for the lead, by the way. Shout out Kane Pankow. Dr. Do Racing taking it over. I don't know why I don't have his bike. Got his gear. Do not have his bike. True, Wyatt. Paris is coming around. I forgot to mention Paris Raceway. But Paris's schedule is like really hit and miss sometimes. Like it's open random Tuesdays, sometimes Monday nights. And then they have race weekends a lot, so they're closed. Well, not like closed, but like not open practice on the weekends all the time. So it's a little bit hit and miss. SoCal is definitely, we're losing the moto scene year by year. Good battle for the lead here. B-Lars and Pankow going at it. Yeah, Peak G, it was called the Fly 150. Fly used to sponsor it, but they haven't for a little bit, I don't believe. So I think it's called something different now. Honestly, what I should do, somewhere in my house, I have the track map of Hangtown from a couple years ago that I used for Media Pass. Oh, as B-Lars goes down. That's going to give Pankow the lead. It was a Fly 150 in 2024. Okay, interesting. Yes, Dirt McGurty. This is in Sacramento. Well, technically, it's in Rancho Cordova, California, which is about 30 minutes outside of the capital of California. It is up in Northern California. So white flag coming out next time by, and we have still got a close fight for this final transfer spot. Tyson Fresquez wants in. I definitely do not need to move to Florida. My wife would never go. Look at Fresquez, man. Still pushing the envelope at the ripe old age of like 30 right now, I think. He must be about that age. White flag in the air, though. Final lap of the 450 Consi. Pankow, Larson, Mills, and Gilmore are your transfer spots. But can Tyson Fresquez race his way in? This has given me some confidence, by the way, because me and Tyson Fresquez had a death battle in the EU 450 race last week at Paula for the 21st and final point, to which Fresquez ended up 20th and I got 21st. But it's making me feel like if I raced, you're telling me there's a chance I could still maybe qualify for an outdoor national. Fresquez did miss that uphill triple, though, and that gives Gilmore a bit of breathing room. Wyatt Grant in chat, by the way, says, tell Luke Sheff to not run JGMX or running Wyatt Grant's number. So the 27 himself is asking to not ban JGMX. Please and thank you. This update has been brought to you by Hilton Co. Check it out. And Pankow leads on the final lap of the race. 3.2 second gap that he has opened up on Brandon Larson. Interestingly enough, not the fastest lap of the race. That is Jacob Arnbrister, who is way back here. 158th out of Arnbrister. And this is coming down to the nitty-gritty for these two, man. Gilmore has been holding on as hard as he possibly can to this transfer spot under all the pressure from Fresquez, and there's a mistake. Fresquez is going to come down the outside and pass him for position, but Gilmore's going to go back up the inside right here. Does he get him back? Yes, he does. Fresquez blew the corner. Wow, as Pankow takes the win out front. And the GOAT has been outplayed at his own game. The track creator beats the racer, JGMX, to the motos, as Fresquez misses out by a second and a half and absolutely center punches him after the finish line jump for good measure. It was JGMX, D-Mills, B-Lars, and Caden Pankow. Hank out going for the flip up the hill. Got it. Alrighty, folks. So that's our consies done and dusted. And cuts come in. It does not change your top 4 positions. So we're going to send you guys to a quick commercial break. We'll be back on the other side of this with more Pro Motocross here on Start Your Systems TV and MX Simulator Round 2 from Hangtown. We'll be right back. And welcome back in, everyone, into round number 2 of the Pro Motocross Championship in MX Simulator. My name is Kellen Brower, and we are ready to go racing for 250 Moto 1 coming up in just a few moments' time. Great to have everyone joining us here tonight. Hopefully you've been enjoying the show so far and are looking forward to what we've got coming up here in just a moment for our 250 action. Chat has been lively, which I love to see. Got almost 200 people watching on YouTube, another 50 or so over on Twitch. And we appreciate the continued support of this championship. Yeah, we do need an updated MXM commercial. I've always really liked that commercial. My guy Adam Berry made it all the way back at the end of 2012. And it's just like a cool synopsis of all the different stuff that's available in this game. So like to run it back every once in a while. Actually, low-key demonetizes me every once in a while because that song is like from some other game, I guess. But yeah, I like that commercial. So we are ready to go racing here at Hangtown. 250 Moto 1 coming at you here in just a moment. And if you're just joining us back here tonight, missed a couple consies for one, but also let you know that Jackson Vick comes in with the red plate. We'll take a look and see if we can see him on the racetrack out here with those red plates on his machine. It's got to be somewhere. Where is he? There he is, number 18. So red plates tonight for him, but 10th fastest in qualifying. So we'll see how he does in the race here tonight. Braden Tharp was our fastest qualifier here tonight, but not by too much. Jake Spieth right in their mix as well. And all these guys ready to do some battle. There is Mr. Spieth on the number 15 District Designs KTM. What is up, Noah? How is everybody doing in the chat? Love you too, Lee Simon. You guys are killing it in the chat tonight. It's been really fun to see all the interactions so far and making it a lot more fun for me. So let's jump in and see what happens here in 250 Moto number 1, shall we? This is their warm-up lap. This is their last chance at taking a look at this racetrack. Before we go racing, 30 minutes plus 2 laps on this treacherous and difficult Hangtown track. It's going to be fast. It is going to be wide open in many spots of the racetrack. And it all comes down to the start. Brought to you by Stats Guy. Lane Burks always brings us Our whole shot award every single week. Where will it come from? It's often these inside 20 gates, but it could be from anywhere. It's time to drop the gate here in Hangtown. Model 1 of the 250s coming at you. 82 machine of Elliott Person leads him in and out of turn number 1. The Swede is out front for iSpec as he gets the whole shot, but right up into second place is last week's Moto 1 winner, the 72 of Colin Allen. Right there with him, Jake Spieth with a great start is in third as they all head up the hill on lap number 1. Look at this frenzy. Find where your favorite racer is as they come up the hill. The one machine is absolutely buried, and we already have a change to the lead as Colin Allen takes over from Elliott Person on the long downhill at the bottom. Up the hill we go, and we are racing. In Northern California, Allen, Person, Spieth, 1, 2, 3 at the top. Oh, and Spieth, a little bit of a slide out there in the background. Does that open the door for Isaiah Dickerson? Perhaps the 20 of Joey Carter could get there as well as he tries to go to the outside. Nothing to do right there just yet. 11 of Luke Sullivan. It is a KTM city out here in the midfield. Oh, look at that. Inside move for Person. Gets into him. And down goes Colin Allen. Spieth is down. Down goes, I think that was Sully perhaps as well. No, he actually moves up in a second, so that must have been Dickerson who went down on Spieth. And Joey Carter, Dr. Do Racing, goes to the race lead. Wow, what a change. Elliott Person throws it down the inside and puts down your early race leader, Colin Allen. And now they both have a lot of work to do as Joey Carter takes over the point. It's Ryder Dorigo second, Ryan Chowsey in third place. And it's a completely different mix as our front four at the halfway mark of lap number 1 have all gone down. Rare that happens, but it just did. So now that KTM swarm that I mentioned has moved to the front. It is Carter from Chowsey, Dorigo, Sullivan, and Elliott Person, who actually didn't fall off the bike, has moved up into 5th. So that is really good news for him. But you can see our early leaders are a little bit more buried than that. Jackson Vick, 19th after lap number 1. Tharp in the 24th position. As some of our early favorites are definitely buried, and we'll go back and check on them in a little bit. Ooh, little flick of the rear end right there for Joey Carter. Look at the run from Ryder Dorigo. Oh, no, it's Chowsey, excuse me. Thought it was the 5.6. It's a 2.6 of Chowsey who gets up alongside and takes over the race lead. Washed, they call him in MX Bikes. Now a 3-time MXGP champion in the game. Or so that's what I see from the Splash account. Now takes over the race lead. It is Chowsey, Carter, Dorigo, Sullivan, and Antonio Vellotti. All KTMs in the top 5, and interestingly enough, 3 different teams. Sunbelt, Dr. Do, and District Designs representing out front. Sunbelt boys are 1-4-5 right now. Good rides for them as Sully holds on to the outside. Vellotti trying to get up the inside of his teammate. Inside move for Dorigo. Haven't seen many people try this. Can he get it to work on the 250? Actually not too bad of a line as he gets almost alongside Sullivan, who crosses over in front of him, and instead it's Vellotti to the inside who gets the pass on Dorigo after the fly 150. How about that move? Antonio Vellotti, who I believe is merked. Could be wrong. But yeah, merked from MX Bikes. Also jumping over. So the MX Bikes crossover players are ripping early on here. Good battles as well inside the top 5 in the early goings of this. And good to see Luke Sullivan, former MXS Playoffs champion, who has jumped back down to the 250 class for the outdoors as Vellotti goes down up the inside. So through goes Dorigo, Noah McLaughlin, Hayden Stevenson, Ryder Bednar, Elliott Person, Tom Quinault on the 41, and here is Jackson Vick to the outside. Going to move up inside the top 10 now with that pass right there. So there is your red plate holder. Still 24th place for the one of Braden Tharp after qualifying fastest here tonight. So he is having a tough time. But this is Jackson Vick's MO from last week. Limit the mistakes. Didn't win either moto, but still left with the most points. And this is exactly the playbook he has come to play with once again. '41 trying to get away at the top of the hill. That's Tom Quinault, who in his own right is a former champion in this game in EU, but Jackson Vick will make the pass and get by him there as well. Next up, Elliott Person on the 82. Look at that, Quinault back up the inside, pulling alongside Vick. Vick's going to go deep on the triple, but close the line off. Quinault back to the inside, gets him right back there, bar to bar, going through the rollers here. And it is Vick who comes out on top still now in that P9 position. So while these two battle it out, Ryan Chousey is laying claim at the front of the field. New fastest lap of the race, a 1:58.367. 5.9 second lead. It is funny that his name is washed in MX Bikes because he's absolutely not that in bikes, and he's not that in sim either. Should let me run that name because that's the definition of what I am in both games, but instead he's out here crushing it. Getting away 6.5 minutes into this moto and making that Sunbelt KTM sing on the uphills here at Hangtown. Carter, Sullivan, and Dorigo loses the front end at the bottom of the hill. So Stevenson goes by. There goes Bednar and Elliott Person and Noah McLaughlin and almost Tom Quinault. Looks like we did have a crash, perhaps, out of Jackson Vick. He's back to 15th. Dorigo gets going in front of Quinault. Quiet moto so far for this man, Ryder Bednar, as well as the man in front of him, Hayden Stevenson, who we'll go talk about in a second. Never mind, Stevenson just went down out of 4th place. So the Nexus KTM goes down. It's passed up by Logan Leitzel, jumping off the track and moving into the top 10 on the number 3. Oh, Stevenson almost had a double right there. And look at this charge coming up from Jake Spieth. That's your second fastest qualifier, I should say. Now on his horse, and he's side by side with the Nexus 24 machine. Down the inside, makes that pass. 261 was down. That's Noah McLaughlin. So we're seeing some mistakes from our top group. And another new fastest lap of the race from Ryan Chousey out front. 1:58.257, man. He is cooking. Good battle here. Ryder Dorigo and Logan Leitzel on the 3. We'll go on board with Leitzel and see his view of this. See just how close you can race each other here in MX Simulator. Oh, that inside move worked a charm for Leitzel as he makes that pass and then goes back to the inside here at the bottom of the hill as well. Didn't quite get the far inside line, but I think he's still going to make it work. And then how hard do you charge? 5th gear all the way through the bumps. Still 5th gear coming down the hill. You just revving the throttle out. Down to 4th, down to 3rd. Back up to 4th on exit. 5th going up here. That must be a low transmission. -2.2 or maybe -2.1 to be able to pull 4th out of that corner on a 250. I know the corner speed is insane, but crazy to see how much momentum he can carry in that gear. Double down the backside, double up the hill as Luke Sullivan comes back on track from a crash. And the quad double to the outside for Leitzel will complete the pass into 6th place for him as well. Tom Quinault just ahead of him now on the 41. The corner speed right here for Leitzel, crosses back over. Trying to get up alongside of Tom Quinault. Oh, Quinault cuts over, and Leitzel hits him and doesn't go down. Quinault did. They both ended up getting passed by Spieth and Sullivan. Leitzel's trying to get them both back at the bottom of the hill here, and he might do it, but Sully around the outside holds it. Man, the contact between those two, how it did not result in a legs for Leitzel by high-siding back to the other side. That's a very, very crafty save from the former champion of this series. And he still might get Sullivan around the outside. Look at this. He's going to use his inside through turn number 1 that he likes. And it works. Crazy, crazy ride for Leitzel right there to get the pass done. This time he does hook the inside right, and Spieth is trying to get Sullivan in a drag race up the hill. That doesn't work either. 5 or 6 rider freight train coming down the hill as Spieth got a little sideways down there. Sullivan laying it down. You can see the rider ahead last lap time for Logan Leitzel. That is Joey Carter, who ran a 2:14 in 4th place last time by. So this freight train is trying to run them down. And look at the line changes as well. We saw guys going outside most of the time coming down that hill, but now 10 minutes into the moto, whether it's the braking bumps or just how close the action is, it's changed up quite a bit as Jake Spieth is going to pass Leitzel on the uphill. And Sullivan goes from almost to the front of this group to the back of it, as through goes rider Dorigo on him as well. And Jake Spieth is starting to really get the ball rolling here, as now they have definitely reeled in Joey Carter after that crash. So Joey Carter into the sights of Jake Spieth, Logan Leitzel, Dorigo, and Sullivan. It looks like we did lose, I believe that was Quinault off the back of this battle. He was right there and then went down going up the uphill. So as we start to get closer and closer to halfway, the racing is still so tight. And look at this. Leitzel back to the inside of Spieth, might get him down the inside. Doesn't get close enough, and we have a lapper down on the inside. That is one of the Yamaha riders. Couldn't get a number on that. I am going to guess that that was perhaps Rasmus Balzer, though, unfortunately. Which is a shame for the number 19 Rumus machine. Spieth and Leitzel, though, man. These two going at it. Oh, Leitzel! And I thought it was Leitzel, but Spieth goes down in front of him. They both hit, I guess, the same kicker, and I thought Leitzel got it worse, but then he rode out of it. Dorigo doesn't get the uphill triple now, and Sullivan's going to go by him. Did Leitzel go down at the bottom? Yeah, he did. He's just now doubling back on the track. So now he goes from battling for 5th all the way back to 12th. Spieth is back there as well. Christopher Harris, Velati, Quinault, Cash Woods all went by. Then there is that Dorigo versus Sullivan battle that is still raging on for 5th place. Man, everywhere you look, there's a battle on the racetrack right now. And this battle is still good between Sullivan and Dorigo. Back to our race leader for just a brief second. He had pulled this thing out to 21 seconds at one point. It's back down to 11, so I'd have to imagine he just had a fall. But Chelsea is ripping at the front of this race right now, and I'm curious if the fall was perhaps induced by the track changing. We're seeing these guys have to change their lines up. And are these line changes going to be the undoing of Ryan Chelsea out front? Ryder Dorigo versus Luke Sullivan, still a good fight. Cash Woods, Christopher Harris, Logan Leitzel, Jake Spieth, Bodie Parker, Johnny Padani, Antonio Velati, Tom Quinault. Colin Allen, who led this race early on, is 15th place right now. Dylan Dallaire, 16th. McLaughlin, 17th. Dylan Roper, 18th. Jackson Lindsay, 19th. Dan White in 20th. And Braden Tharp is picking up 1 point right now. 21st place does get a point under the new SMX playoff system. Going to move to 20th place anyway. But what's interesting is you got Tharp and Jackson Vick, the teammates, trying to work together to come through the field right now. And neither are having a good time. Vick was up there, did have a crash, and went backwards a little bit. And also, another thing I noticed, Jackson Vick did not run handguards last week. Running handguards this week. Don't know if that's a stylistic change or he just likes the viewpoint a little bit better. But you're watching On Board with your current points leader, the number 18 of Jackson Vick, all the way down in 21st place right now. Still has not gone sub 202 when in qualifying they were in the 156s. Oh, cross-up line is down. Goes Jack Mark off the rear tire of Tharp. And although these two are 1-2 in the championship, being that they're teammates and it's so early on in this title fight, you would think getting a Discord together and tell each other, hey, man, we're having a bad day. Let's work together. Let's follow each other. Let's not push each other into mistakes. Let's work together and move forward. Settle down. Treat it like another day of riding together in a server. Because you've done already too much damage at halfway to be 19th and 20th in this race. We'll see how the teammates approach the second half of this moto. I could be dead wrong. They could absolutely be going at it. Good news for them, if there is any, is that let's say 5th place is not like completely not doable. It's about 4 corners ahead of them, give or take, let's say 25 seconds away. But there's a freight train of guys that if they get through the next 3 or so guys, get into about 16th place, they'll be at the tail end of a long group that is still battling, by the way. They're still just absolutely going at it as we finish a on-board lap with Jackson Vick. This is that group I'm talking about, though. Quino, Bodie Parker, you got Padani, Cash Woods, Spieth, who's about to pass Leitzel off track, might I say. Leitzel gets back on behind him, doesn't do the uphill step up, and Cash Woods is going to be right there. These guys have just been going back and forth the entire moto. And right now it's Leitzel in 9th place that we're watching on our screen. Look at how close this is, though, still. Cash Woods, your 250 West Supercross champion, up the inside will make that move. And Leitzel's having a tough time. Now he's off the track at the top of the second uphill. Loses a spot to Padani and Quino in the process. Cash Woods right there. There's Spieth, and then Ryder Bednar, who's actually slipped back to 7th. He was 4th early on. This is a great ride for Christopher Harris. Kalana Humphrey right now is watching somewhere, stoked on the 112. As Bednar, now we're starting to see why he's gone backwards. Another legs off crash, and that's going to cost him a top 10 position. He is now back to 11th, almost 12th as Leitzel closes up. And speaking of which, Leitzel does complete that inside move to move up into 11th. So Bednar has gone from 4th to 12th in the span of about 2 laps. And while one freight train battles each other, here's a different one. It is Luke Sullivan, Ryder Dorigo, and Christopher Harris. 4, 5, 6 on the timing sheets right now, but perhaps 1, 2, 3 in your heart. If you're looking for a battle on the racetrack, look at how close these guys are coming down the hill. Thrap down again. Thrap is down, according to Aaron MXB. Back to 21st place goes Braden Tharp. I think that might be the new running joke, is to name him Thrap. You know what's crazy is that these guys who are battling for really good points, 4th place right now, 41 seconds off the race lead. Ryan Chelsea is putting a hurting on these guys. Yes, it is indeed the same Leitzel that races IRL, Logan Leitzel. Really, really nice dude. If you ever have a chance in the pits at local races or pro races, wherever you're going, and you see the 208 machine, go say hi to him. He is a rad dude. Hung out with him in the pits at Birmingham, I believe it was. And honestly, you would think, okay, triple-digit privateer guy, maybe doesn't get a lot of love from fans. There was a lot of people coming up to get stuff signed by him, and he was super, super nice and interactive with every fan. Really good dude. And obviously a real-life ripper. Christopher Harris now into the top 5 after Ryder Dorigo went down, as you saw on the backside of the Fly 150. And Harris is actually eyeing up Luke Sullivan for 4th place, I feel like. As I said, this is a really good ride, making my company look great. SwapMotoLive.com, check them out. I'll be back under the microphone at High Point for them. Shooting photos, getting interviews, writing reports. But right now, Christopher Harris is repping him well. And he is absolutely ripping. Look at how much he's caught. Luke Sullivan going up the uphill. Going to try a different line on the downhill, and that bike looks hooked up through the middle line. While Sullivan's bouncing all around, Harris is like, yeah, man, my Suzuki's going straight as an arrow. Oh, but then I say that, and he almost goes through the front door. Meanwhile, Cash Woods is closing up into this fight. Hold on. Change for the lead. Elliot Person has taken over. Oh, no. Ryan Chelsea has spent 22 minutes warming up his arm to throw this thing away. And now it's Elliot Person out to the race lead. Can Chelsea fight back? Oh, he lands on him and goes down. Over the bars, and the lead is gone. So the Super Swede takes over. Elliot Person is out front here at Hangtown. Oh, never mind. He's down 2. That should give Chelsea the lead back. That was a pretty lengthy crash for Person. He's going to get going right about now, but Chelsea goes back to the lead. And we have ourselves a classic battle of crashes. So Chelsea back to the front, Elliot Person in second, and their crash fest has allowed this fight to kind of close up a little bit. Joey Carter is now just 14 seconds back, and these guys who were at one point 42 seconds back are now just 22 seconds back. Sullivan and Harris still have their fight going on. And now Harris goes for a ride, somehow doesn't legs. That was maybe the most spinning pirouette, stop and spin it back around crash, non-crash I've ever seen in MXM. And he only loses 1 spot to Cash Woods. So yeah, the erode might really be starting to hinder these guys, as it looks like Person went down again, because suddenly Joey Carter is only about 2 seconds back. 2:03.2 last time by. Person a 2:13.9. And I think some of these guys wishing they had SPX MX bike suspension on their machines right now with 6 minutes to go in this moto, because this track is getting nasty, man. Look at the bumps in front of Joey Carter. Ripping that outside line, which still looks pretty good, but then look at this. A lot of chop into this corner, bouncing your way in, chop on the exit, trying to keep that rear tire planted. Uh-oh, leader's down. Ryan Chelsea is down again. In the front. He's going to get going, still in the lead, but now it's much closer. Elliott Person is going to be there. He will be 4.5 seconds back. Now it's down to just 8 seconds for Joey Carter. And suddenly, what looked to be a pretty surefire victory for either Elliott Person or Ryan Chowsey could be anything but that, with Joey Carter lurking late in the moto here. We have only 4.5 minutes plus 2 laps left to go. Can Ryan Chowsey lock this thing back down? Looks like he might be pushing the envelope still, perhaps frantically trying to open the lead back up. But is that the wrong move as he enters this corner really fast? Maybe it's more of a matter of, I don't care, I'm just going to send it until I see God or the checkered flag. Oh, man, it is getting a little too rough, I think, for the send mode, though. And I wonder if someone might let Chowsey know in the Sunbelt Discord, hey, buddy, you got 5.5 seconds to play with here. You don't need to be pushing like this. But, again, perhaps he does not care. So there is Person. There is Joey Carter. And Christopher Harris is about 14 seconds behind Carter, but in 4th place all by himself. Update on our championship leaders. Jackson Vick, 14th. Braden Tharp, 18th. First and second in points. And they are not having a good day so far. So over the line again, I am going to say 4 to go. They're going to get around one more time, and then time will expire, which of course would mean 2 laps to go the next time by after that. So we're looking at 4 to go here at Hangtown. And a fight for the lead that I definitely would not say is over yet. Curious to see how Washed handles this pressure here late. Of course, Ryan Chowsey, who I'm speaking of, if you haven't been with us the whole moto. This is Washed from MX Bikes. 3-time MXB GP champion. And an absolute shredder in MX Simulator as well. A little bit wayward on the uphill rollers, though. Doesn't get the drive that he was hoping for the quad. Elliott Person is still getting it, though. .4 seconds the gap. Man, Person is, I feel like, keeping it just close enough to make Chowsey have to keep pushing himself. Oh, that corner speed is excellent, though, for Chowsey. Rear tire down in the rollers and keeping the speed going. Oh, little kick right there. Ooh, sliding into that corner as well. It's getting nervous time here for Ryan Chowsey, man. 3 laps to go this time by. We are at 29 minutes and a few seconds. 54 seconds left on the clock, and Chowsey's got a 5.6 second lead. They ran almost identical lap times last time by, both 2:03.5. Elliott Person was about 8/1000ths of a second faster. But that doesn't matter, like, at all. That was basically the exact same lap time as I said. Oh, man, Jacob Hubbard in chat. Poor guy, the same injury as me, man. Broke my thumb with 5 rounds of Supercross or whatever it was to go. And dislocated the top bones as well. And they gave me 4 to 6 weeks as well. And I was back playing Sim at 5. So, there you go. That's why we don't see whole shot king Jacob Hubbard out here racing, sadly. But heal up, buddy. .6 seconds, man. That gap has stayed very, very consistent the past few laps. Oh, Chelsea found a bit of a trampoline in the ground right there on that corner entry. I don't want to just only watch this battle because there's another good one going on back here between Dorigo and Leitzel, but I feel like if we don't watch Chelsea, he might do something dumb again. I don't want to believe it. Also, how about this ride for Colin Allen? Winner of our first moto last week at Paula, led early, crashed early, was outside of the top 15. He's all the way back to 7th, and he's pushing for a top 5 here late. Look at this run from Leitzel. Oh, the scrub, and he just tire taps the nose at the top of the hill. That's insanity that he rode out of that. Switch back across the lines here. Gonna try the middle outside line. Does it work? Yes, it does. What a move by Logan Leitzel to move into 5th place late in this one. And honestly, with the way things are going, could Leitzel be provisionally looking at the championship lead after this moto? No idea. Unfortunately, our points as they run graphic is suffered a DNF once again here today. But that's okay. My guy, Stats Guy, is always out here crushing it with all of his good stats in between the motos anyway. As Chelsea misses the uphill quad and Elliott Person was down. That might be the nail in the coffin. So now Ryan Chelsea will see, well, maybe he won't see the pit board. Sometimes these guys put a black bar on their pit board where their distance behind number is, because they don't want to see. Especially if you're in the race lead, you don't want to know. You just want to keep doing what you're doing out front. But Chelsea's going to see the white flag this time by and know that he has 1 lap left to do it. Whoa, Leitzel down as he was trying to get by Harris, and then goes across the track and gets into Ryder Dorigo. So there goes the 72 of Colin Allen. Dorigo gets it spun around as jumping over top of them is a lapper? No, there's Colin Allen. So then who went by them? Oh, Bodie Parker. Wow. Bodie Parker from the LCQ to a top 5 in Moto 1. How about it? I literally said that right at the end of the LCQ. I said, last week we saw at Paula, the LCQ kind of brought out a little extra flavor for these guys. I don't know if it was the extra track time or what have you, but Bodie Parker wins the LCQ, now into the top 5 late in this moto. Awesome to see. And now we have half a lap remaining for this man to finish off his first moto win of the season. Would it be his first moto win of his career? I didn't see much of outdoors last year. My apologies. So if I missed it, my bad. But I'm sure somebody will let me know. No, not his first moto win of his career. So there you go. iMoto's already correcting me. And Thrap is down again. 250 Moto 1 at Unadilla. Or just 25 Unadilla won a moto. So Chelsea has 1 to his credit. Now looking for number 2 to add to the tally book. And it looked like it was going to be a dominating one here in Moto 1 at Hangtown. In the end, a few too many mistakes cost him that chance at just running away with this thing, but he still gets away in the end to the tune of 14 seconds late in this race. Elliott Person will be left to settle with second, but it is washed from MX Bikes. He's not washed one bit, folks. He is your Moto 1 winner here at Hangtown. Ryan Chelsea takes the dub in Moto 1 at the Hangtown Classic. Elliott Person will indeed get second. Joey Carter into third place. Gonna hold that on no problem. Bodie Parker, Logan Leitzel make it a Yogi 4-5. Ryder Dorigo versus Christopher Harris. Looks like a battle we might want to watch to the end here. Harris trying this outside crossover line because then you can get to this middle rut. It worked for Leitzel. Does it work for Harris? Good run. And is that Parker? No, that is not Parker. That's the 100 machine there. Ryan Rich. But Dorigo is going to hold off Christopher Harris. Harris ends up 7th. Look at this. Spieth versus Sullivan versus Bednar in the final corner with Jackson Vick right there as well. And that's just a drag race to the finish. Vick crosses 11th, but gets 10th as Spieth goes from 8th to 11th on penalties. Wow. Colin Allen, who was up into 5th late, falls to 12th. Cash Woods 13th. Dallaire 14th. Guineau 15th. Padani 16th. Lindsay 17th. And this has got to be the disappointment of the moto. Jackson Vick 10th isn't great, but neither is this out of Tharp. 18th. And it might not even be 18th because he's down on the finish line face. Antonio Velotti's going to get him at least. And Tharp crosses 19th and stays 19th after cuts. Stevenson 20th. Caden Kepke will be our last points finisher barring a crash. Yeah, he's got it. Kepke 21st. Hollenbeck outside the points. And that will do it for Moto 1 here in the 250s at Hangtown. Ryan Chelsea, your big winner. We're going to send it to a commercial break. We'll be back on the other side of this one with more of the Pro Motocross Championship and MX Simulator live here on Start Your Systems.
As the rocks crumbled, tiny pieces mingled with decayed leaves, old roots. Over many more years, these bits mixed, turned into something new. This dirt was special, and the cycle of life continued.
And welcome back, everyone, into round number 2 of the Pro Motocross Championship in MX Simulator. It's your boy, Kellen Brower, in the booth, ready to get the action started for 450 Moto number 1. And if you just joined us, Braden Carter enters as your points leader after his first ever Pro Motocross victory last week at Paula. But interestingly enough, he's actually playing on a laptop in Florence, Italy, I believe, tonight. Is what his girlfriend Alexandra said in the chat. So they are together. She is up late with him, watching him play sim. And that is the links that these guys go to when you are traveling all the way across the world to visit your girlfriend. You still play sim. But we hope Braden does well tonight. He says his internet is going to be a little bit spotty, but we'll see how he does. Qualified 11th here tonight. and see how it goes. Of course, your fastest qualifier was the number 1 of Seth Carr, your reigning champion. And we'll see how he does here on this Hangtown track when we drop the gate. Great to have everyone join us here, watching live all over the world as well tonight. And a big shout out to all the people who tune in every single week. 263 of you on YouTube and over 50 of you over on Twitch. Tuned in to Pro Motocross and MX Sim, just watching, loving it. Stoked to have you guys here with us and can't wait to see what happens in 450 Moto number 1. Oh, he's there with family, not his girlfriend right now. So Braden is in Italy. I thought he was with his girlfriend, but the girlfriend's from Czech Republic or something, right? So let's see some of the guys we got going to the line here. You can see them on your screen. See the names coming up. There is the 1 of Seth Carr. No red plate this week on that machine. Instead, it is on somewhere back here, the KTM number 9. Or number 2, I should say he is now. He used to be number 9. He's back there somewhere. We'll eventually find him. But right now, we got to go into the server and watch this racing action commence. Who's going to get the stats guy? Whole shot award. Where will it come from? We believe the inside is the place to be. Austin Pardelo's up there. Seth Shirley's up there. Evan Holt might be a good one to watch. He's down the far inside. 450 Moto 1 at Hangtown is off and running. Braden Carter to the corner first. Does he get the stats guy a whole shot? No, it's his teammate Seth Carr. The 1 and 2 are 1 and 2 off the gate. But Braden Carter gets hit from behind and he's off the track. It's Caleb Hall moving up there. Evan Holt. And then Ben Nerona with Wyatt Grant into second place as Seth Carr leads on lap number 1. And to see the 1 machine out front, everybody is a little bit concerned that it's going to be Eli Tomac 2015 mode. But Carr has been in this position a few times already where we think he's going to run away with the early lead and it goes south quickly. So he's going to try to hold on to it. Instead, he is going to have the second fastest qualifier, Wyatt Grant. These are the only 2 guys in the 151s in qualifying. Everybody else in the 154s. So what they're doing differently, I have no idea. But we might get a look at it right now as they work together on lap number 1. But Grant's going to get passed by Ben Nerona around the outside. The 16 Twizy Kawasaki shoots into second place early on. So the battle for second, going at it. You got Holtzy, Hunter Ash, and Braden Carter, your championship leader. At least with a good start early. He said it was going to be a little bit wishy-washy, his performance tonight, the lag of the laptop, all of the above things. But he is pushing Hunter Ash here early on to try to get into the 5th position already. 3.5 second lead for Seth Carr out front. Got some really strong competitors up here at the sharp end of the field, including this man, Matthew Burkeen. 11th place early on, going to fall back to 12th behind the 46 of Cooper Hunt. But Matty B is back. I'll tell you what, man, this dude is ripping outdoors again. He was top 10 in EU last Thursday, and he told me at Paula IRL that he's really loving the sim grind again. Back at it, enjoying playing the game, and he's also back home now, so maybe a bit more comfortable settings. And he's finding himself in the top 10 here early at Hangtown. That's great to see. We'll see how he fares running with this group. Back to the Carter versus Hunter Ash battle. Ash is riding really well, but it's like kind of creating a bit of a freight train behind him as Carter closes up. T-Lang, Chase Blakely right there as well. Now they go through the rollers. Oh, Carter almost had a big one, and he's not going to get the main line. I still gets a quad double, so doesn't lose too much time. And T-Lang went for the big line and almost went down. So Chase Blakely's going to try to go to the outside of him. Actually, Carter forces the issue on Hunter Ash and still doesn't get the position just yet. And Swap's trying to get back to the inside. Hunter Ash making him work for it. But this time Carter swoops the outside and gets up into 4th place. Also going through T-Lang on the 5, man. Tyler Lang, remember, second in the second moto last week at Paula, really came to life. Or I think I actually ended up 4th, excuse me, but he was in second for a long time. And then a good freight train of riders right there. Ash Deering, Evan Holt, Brandon Larson right there as well. It's a really good group of guys close together here. 4th on back, but they have lost a lot of ground early to the 3 leaders. Wyatt Grant right on the tail of Ben Nerona, and they are both 5 seconds back of Seth Carr, who, mind you, just went 154.203 out front, which is faster than anybody else did in qualifying except he and Wyatt Grant. I didn't disable the view iMoto, but I don't know if I need to refresh the cache. Just let me know. This is your battle for second on the screen right now, though. Nerona versus Wyatt Grant. Oh, look at that from Wyatt Grant. Tire tapping the big single in line. Wait, Seth Carr's down. He gets back on sideways, and Wyatt Grant hits him. New leader at Hangtown is Ben Nerona. Wow. I don't know what to make of that re-entry from Seth Carr. That might have just been incidental mistake right there. But yeah, that is very odd to see that crash out of Carr early on. And iMoto, I turned on the points as they run and refresh cache. So if you want to do a test run of it, you certainly are able to now. But the battle for the lead is coming at you on screen here. Nerona versus Seth Carr. I feel like Carr is not going to want to settle in for second place very long here. You can see how quickly some of these insides are digging a little bit deeper. How does Nerona defend against Carr as well? Because Carr's fast in a lot of different places of the track. Whoa, rear end kick out. Is it going to be right here? Even 2 different lines on the downhill. Carr going to run it a little deeper, but Nerona back to the inside, holds it steady. And these 450s can take those insides quite easily and still get that triple. Oh, I know why. That is my bad. Now try. Sorry, iMoto. I was still on a different screen. Now try, and it should be fine. And so far, Carr has not been able to break through on Nerona. Where is he looking to make a pass, though, is the question. Where can he go a little bit faster than what Nerona's doing? Because Nerona, of course, is going to be taking all the main lines. 157.6 last time by. How about this? Inside into the rollers. Not able to make it happen just yet as Nerona just responds to that pressure and then goes down to the top of the hill, and Carr gets into the back of him. So that's going to break away our battle for a minute. Back to third place. It is Tyler Lang ahead of Wyatt Grant now after that crash. Hunter Ash still in fifth ahead of Chase Blakely. And Brandon Larson in seventh. Cooper Hunt eighth. Austin Bear ninth. And Evan Holt rounds out our top 10. This is a very topsy-turvy top 10 right now. Sonny Spicer's also up here. Braden Castellaneta, Ash Deering, and then Braden Carter, your championship leader. Bit of a rough start for him. Burkeen's still in the points. Matherly running in 16th behind all them. Austin Schaefer 17th, Langstrup 18th, Dustin Garrett 19th, and Tucker Zimmerman is in the top 20 just ahead of Daniel Mills. Just noticed no Leclerc tonight. That is a big bummer for a man who I really thought could contend for the title this season. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could play with that. We could play with that lane, and maybe I could try to put it over our other overlay and see if it like fits in. But then also I've seen people complain to no end that that overlay on the screen takes away like the bottom part of the what you're watching if it's doing like a stat or who's talking or something like that. So maybe we just leave it as is. I don't know, just trying to make it better for the viewers at home, of course. Battle for third, perhaps brewing. Battle for the lead is also brewing again. Nerona has not been able to escape just yet. But this one's maybe a little bit closer right now. Wyatt Grant versus Tyler Lang, and Grant's going to go inside into the rollers. Can he get a drive? Amazingly, it kind of looks like he can. Lang's going to try to swoop into that rut, but it's not going to work. Wyatt Grant into the top three now. And now back to our lead battles. It's under a second. Coming up on the first third of this race being over, and Ben Nerona still leads on lap number 6. But will it be for much longer as Seth Carr has reeled him in? Nice scrub for Nerona out of that inside rut. It feels like he is doing everything right when it comes to defensive tactics here, because he's hitting really what is kind of the main lines, but he's also doing it to where none of the option lines really seem to be a good spot for a car, but that might be it right there. A little bit of a hang up in that rut. Nerona swapped all the way into the corner, and Carr might get the rear tire down and go for the 5. No, he doesn't quite get it. Oh, and he's going to go down. Another rare mistake for Carr, and it happens in the uphill rollers again. And so once again, he's back to the drawing board as we shoot back to third place Wyatt Grant and see how that gap has come to fruition. About equidistant from Grant to Carr to Nerona, 7 seconds between them each, basically. And it's T-Lang and Hunter Ash, who is having a hell of a ride right now in 5th place. 24 seconds off the lead, 2:01.0, his personal best lap last time by. He is not necessarily laying down absolute scorchers. The leaders up front, they're dipping into the 156s, 154s even. 2:01 out of Hunter Ash, but it's the consistency that is killing right now, and he is just staying right here. Really good ride out of the 62. Love to see it. Battle brewing here between Cooper Hunt, Brandon Larson, and Chase Blakely. That is for 6th place on the racetrack. Brandon Larson is ripping right now. Atlas Co. 101, and I gotta say, as a former 101 ripper myself in this game, boy does it look good out there. Oh, if I could run that as a permanent number, I absolutely would. And B-Lars is going to get up the inside of Cooper Hunt. Hunt's going to try to fight back to this inside rut. B-Lars around the outside, comes back to the inside here. Now who gets to drive up the hill? It is a drag race here. Oh, it's close. But amazingly, it's going to be Cooper Hunt, who looks like he holds the position. Whoa, maybe not. Goes for a bit of a ride. Still gets the inside rut at the bottom of the hill. B-Lars still hasn't made the pass. They've been basically side by side for about 4 corners now. And now Cooper Hunt locks it back down to the inside. So Larson back to the drawing board again. Forget that pass ever actually being completed. He was close, but no cigar. And instead, he might actually have to deal with a bit of pressure here from Evan Holt. But the 21 of Chase Blakely is coming with Holtzy, and this is a much improved week for Chase Blakely. A very, very frustrating opening round for the BPC Yamaha crew as a whole. And Blakely looks much more like his former self when it comes to outdoor competition here at Hangtown. Blakely, a former winner in this class, two-time winner, actually. I think happened twice in 2016. Aiden Burks will probably tell me I'm wrong. But Blakely was an absolute shredder in this game at one point, and still obviously is, but the first round really didn't do him any good. So let's peek back out front at the gap, shall we? Coming up at the halfway point. There is Nerona, 2 lappers, and then Carr down to 4.5 seconds. 157.2 versus a 159.8 last time by. And Carr, a little bit of a mistake again, has to go around the uphill triple. Only loses about a second of time. I'm keen to see where the biggest time advantages are. Downhill, about equal. Gain maybe 0.2. Through here, gets the rollers pretty good. If he gets this good, he might 5. No, 4.2. That was about 0.6 alone right there going through that roller section. Oh no, Nerona's down! Ben Nerona is down with the race lead, and there it goes. Seth Carr is back out front at Hangtown. And now the question remains, do we have another one in him? Because every time it seems like we're about ready to move on and watch the battles through the field, I go back out front and Carr's down again. So don't want to get too far away from that just yet, but we'll go see some other battles. How about an update on this man, your points leader, Braden Carter? 8th place, 3 a.m. in Florence, Italy, on his laptop right now, running 8th place in the North American Pro National Series. But that's the commitment level you got to go to if you want to be in the championship fight. Can't win the opener and skip round 2. You just can't. So he continues his march forward. Next up, teammate Evan Holt. See if he can close up on him through the roller section. Holtzy getting a little bit out of shape on the left-hand side there. Thank you, Imoto. Alex Heckman was dead on. 2017 was the year that Blakely won 2 outdoors. He's won 2 motos, but funnily enough, he won 2 overalls without winning a single moto. He went 2-2 at Muddy Creek in 2017 and 3-2 at Unadilla in 2017 to win the 450 class on both of those days. Massive shout out to our guy Imoto for always bringing the stats game heavy. Might be a little bit biased, but I like you more than Fowler's facts, personally speaking. Outside line for Carter doesn't work. To the inside at the bottom of the hill of Evan Holt. Got that inside rut good, and it's going to be enough, I think. Holtzy's going to try to scrub and use that power out the uphill, but he might just concede to his teammate as well. Oh, wow. Carter just goes wide and kind of lets him have it back. But might use this inside to just get him back anyway. They're still side by side. And Carter will indeed make the pass into 6th place. Another good ride as well happening back here. Cade Matherly, remember when we went to him originally, he was in about 17th place, I believe. Well, he's up to 8th now. Brandon Larson has crashed back behind these guys. So this has been a pretty solid effort for Matherly through the field. There is Larson slipping back to 9th, and then Blakely now rounds out our top 10. Matty B still 17th place, man. My guy is about to score some points. Up in here, up in here. And we peek back out to the race leader, Seth Carr. I think I might do something I haven't done in a while, which is we kind of do like a run through the field, but we do it from a stationary position. And I'm trying to figure out what might be the best head-on camera to do that at. I don't think that this is quite head-on enough. Maybe the uphill rollers? I don't feel like that's also very head-on either. Right here, not too bad. But just give you an idea of the gaps, right? And I think maybe we could do it here as they come off this uphill. So there is Carr coming down the hill in the race lead. And you'll see the gap back. That is the 71 machine of Devin Davis in 31st. The 103 of Walter Gebhardt in 32nd. Then the 16 of Ben Nerona right there on the Cowie going down the hill in 2nd place. 54 is Caleb Hall in 33rd. 127 of Anthony Pachone in 34th. So those are lapped riders. There's 3rd place Tyler Lang on the 5 coming down the hill. He's 26 seconds back of the lead. 27 of Wyatt Grant lagging his way down the hill in 4th. 37 machine goes by. That is Alec Horn in 35th, and you can just see how big these gaps are. There is Hunter Ash on the 62. 5th place for him. Evan Holt in 6th. Right there on the 23. 7th now for Braden Carter alongside Cade Matherly. In fact, let's watch this battle. It's going to go through the whole field, but these two are going at it, so might as well. Carter ripping the outside. Sounds like a rider is down. Is that a position? It is not. Someone's down here off the left side of the track, though. 37, that's Alec Horn, who we just talked about. And I thought maybe we had a battle brewing right there, but never mind. We really do not have much of one coming our way, so we'll continue our run through the field to get back to our leader. We'll do it right here. Got a front view camera through this section. There goes the 25. There's the 37. So if you remember, we were looking at Matherly in 8th. There's the 101 of Larson in 9th and the 21 of Blakely in 10th. 22 of Castellaneta there in 11th. 46 of Cooper Hunt coming through in 12th. 29 right there of Ash Deering, 13th. 36, Jeremy Schiabro right there in 14th place. And then 15th right here should be the 66 of Austin Schaefer, quickly followed by the 820 of Matt Burkeen and the 99 of Austin Bear. There's the 10 of Jeremy Siebold. That's 18th place. 43, there's Race Coble going by in 19th. 20th place for the 17 of Adam Holm. He's in the points. Good for him. And Sonny Spicer still hanging on in the points. Check that. 148 of Tucker Zimmerman goes by. Spicer back to 22nd. 23rd place for the 216 of Dustin Garrett. Langstrip on the 667. And there is the 1 of Seth Carr. So that's a run through the field that is on the lead lap. And now we are almost up to the points-paying positions being put a lap down as Seth Carr has got this thing out to a 16-second lead. Gonna get around the 216 right there of Dustin Garrett. And now only our points-paying positions are still on the lead lap. Carr back to provisional points leader as it runs right now. 8 points ahead of Carter. 15 points ahead of Tyler Lang. Cade Matherly sits 4th in the standings, so that would be a good result for him if he can keep moving forward in this race. And speaking of which, he's going to get a pass right there on Evan Holt. So the 25 of Matherly goes by. I want to see if Carter gets all the way to Holtzy or not. Well, he's not because B-Lars is actually in front of him, so Larson passed him. He's now between Larson and Blakely, and they are back to the rear fender of Evan Holt. So it looks like a bit of problems coming about for the two, who had made it almost all the way up to a top 5 and has slipped back to 9th. We'll see if he can regroup here late in the moto, but I did want to go back to this battle because Cade Matherly's trying to get into a top 5 position here on Hunter Ash. Matherly really came to life in the second half of 250 East in Supercross, and now looks like he could be a real contender outdoors in the 450 class, which is good to see. He is going to pull up alongside Hunter Ash on the downhill, get to this inside rut, and make that pass up into the top 5. Goes the former 250 East Supercross champion from 2025. Is that all that is on the docket for him? Still 15 seconds up to T-Lang. From T-Lang to Grant is another 10 seconds. And from Grant to Nerona is another 15. So big gaps up ahead. Hunter Ash! Oh, it finally comes unglued a bit. After he gets past, he's now over the bars. Here comes Evan Holt, and Evan Holt's going to make a mess of this section. Oh, Carter's off the track. Careful on the re-entry as Castellaneta will go by. Oh, Carter's down. So 46 will jump by. There goes Cooper Hunt. There goes Blakely. There goes Deering. And off track was Jeremy Schiabro, and now Carter's in some trouble here. He's all the way back to 14th, and unfortunately for him, we're getting late enough in this race that he doesn't have as much time to keep making these spots back. So he's got to kind of lock in here. He's had a bad few laps. See how he can navigate these positions up ahead of him here. He's got to run down Ash Deering on the 29, and then Blakely and Larson, who are still battling each other. Oh, dear. Is he going to get 3 for 1 coming down this hill? Are you joking me? Braden Carter, and then he blows it. Ah. Almost had it. Well, this is a good fight regardless. Deering just got both of these guys. They're not even teammates. Atlas Co., B-Lars, BPC for Chase Blakely. But I feel like they look identical to me. That is an Atlas bike, and that is a BPC bike. So the bikes are different, but they're running the exact same gear. This is an Arai helmet, and that's a Bell. So those are the differences there. And then, are they both in Garnet boots? Yes, Garnet boots for both of them. No, wait, these are these CD boots? Oh, those are G's. Those are Garnet boots. So, if it wasn't confusing enough to have multiple Yamahas in this group, there's two different teams. Deering is on Blakely's team, but more of a look-alike is Brandon Larson, who I think was on Blakely's team just this year. So it's a bit of a mess, but we're trying to keep tabs on it as we go here in Pro Motocross. Here we go. Evan Holt versus Hunter Ash is still hot on the racetrack. This is for 6th. This is an absolute hell of a ride for Hunter Ash. Even a top 10 result here, I feel like he should be fist pumping, but trying to hold on for 6th right now. Can Holtzy do anything about it? Up over the finish line, jump into those braking bumps. Uses that inside rut, banks off it nicely. Nothing doing just yet. Keeping it close. Not close enough. Hunter Ash riding a very solid defensive race here. Holtzy a little bit lower on that triple, but did maybe case just a tiny bit. Got that rear end to drag on the landing. Gonna go inside here and follow Hunter Ash, but not to the inside at the bottom. Far inside. Oh, front end over the rut. Down he goes. So that's going to be a free position for Braden Castellaneta. But he will get going just before the Blakely-Larson battle gets there. Might actually fall back into it, though, because he's not going to get a great run up this uphill. But still does get the quad doubles, so easily done in the end. Cooper Hunt also in the mix. Ash steering. Looks like Larson went down. Here comes Jeremy Seabolt from a ways back, up to 13th now. I think these guys are about to be lapped. Yeah, in fact, Carter is the last person on the lead lap, and I'll talk about a confidence boost. How about this one? Braden Carter goes by. Through goes Seth Carr, the race leader. He's about to lap the points leader. Carter is up ahead, just like trying to get a few more points even with some guys in front of him, but there it goes. He just lays it down. And Seth Carr is still going to get another lap this time by. Time will not expire, so he's going to get another lap through. 3 laps to go right now. And he's got a 45-second lead on Ben Nerona. Absolute insanity. Hey, here's a change for position we didn't talk about. Matherly has gotten all the way to 4th place around Wyatt Grant. Grant having a bit of an ungluing late in this one from a podium spot outside of those podium positions back to 5th. But what is not over, absolutely, is this fight for 3rd could be brewing late, because Matherly was 4 seconds a lap faster than Tyler Lang last time by, who, wouldn't you know it, is 4 seconds ahead of him on the racetrack, and they're still going to have 3 to go this time through. Let's go on board with, never mind. Doesn't have a first-person JM. Lappers trying to not be much of a factor here. The 54 of Hall, the 216 of Dustin Garrett. Matherly's just going to swoop around the outside here of Tucker Zimmerman, I believe, on the 148. And T-Lang's going to be in the danger zone here before long. Matherly is ripping. He just ran his personal best lap of the race at a 1:59.296. Other than the race leader, he's the only guy sub 2 minutes right now. And T-Lang 2:02 flat last time by, so Matherly is closing up quickly here. And this is a hell of a ride considering where he came from to get to this position. And to think that he could walk out of here with a podium in the first moto. Quite something. A little bit out of shape going up the uphill. Going to pass the 37 of Alec Horn, who's still in 35th place right now. This is such a crappy feeling if you're T-Lang right now, and I've been there. You're in a decent position late. You like the pace that you're running. You feel comfortable with it. You don't want to have to push, and then someone starts closing on you and you feel like, okay, maybe I do got to up it because I want to keep this position, but then it pushes you perhaps a little bit out of your comfort zone. And if you get too far out of the comfort zone and have a mistake or a fall or anything of the sort, boy, does it ever throw you for a bad loop. But as I say that, Matherly has, I think, maybe blown this open a little bit with a mistake. Yeah, he did have a crash, and now T-Lang has got this thing pretty covered. So as the 2-lap board goes out, Seth Carr laps Braden Carter again, I guess. 49-second lead on Ben Nerona. And, well, we mentioned early in the race, could this turn into an Eli Tomac 2015-esque performance? It's not quite the second moto Tomac had, but it's similar to the first moto that he did here all those years ago. Pulled away big late and laid the foundation for what was an incredible minute-and-a-half victory in Moto 2. Is that what Seth Carr is lining up for us here tonight? We'll have to wait and see, but he will get the white flag this time by to put everyone else out of their misery. And kudos to Carter, who's sticking with him here, because that's the best game plan you can probably have right now, because Carr is going to carry him into the 12, 11, maybe even top 10 range if he stays close, because those guys are all on the verge of being lapped right here. Cooper Hunt 9th. And, well, yeah, so here they are. This whole group right here basically is going to get the blue bar this lap, I would have to say. But they're battling each other at the same time, so they won't really want to concede the lead. Ooh, and Gebhardt gets into the side of Ash Deering as a bit of a roadblock for his teammate. And that's going to be a free spot for Carter. And I wonder if Gebhardt got out of the way now, or is he still in front of Blakely here? No, he's out of the way to the outside, and he's actually going to go down in the background, so never mind. So these two are fighting it out over 10th, and if they get together, that would be huge for Braden Carter to sneak in and get a few more points late in this one, as he's just back there lurking in the background. Blakely's trying to hold it. Siebold pushing him for all it's worth. Cooper Hunt is not too far ahead of these guys either, so they might even be focused forward of both of them trying to get into 9th, and they want to stay ahead of Seth Carr to even have this battle be an opportunity for them. Look at this, Siebold to the outside. Does he get the run to get Blakely in the rollers? Carr lapping, or trying to lap both of them. Siebold is going to get the pass done. Blakely's trying to let Carr go by, and Carr goes down. So their battle will continue, and that's actually going to help Carter most likely more than anybody, because... Oh, and then he goes down himself. Never mind. So Carter's going to fall back behind a few guys. I believe Schaefer will go by. Deering went by for sure. And Carr's trying to keep him at bay. So all of this unfolding as they're lapping 12th place, but it is going to be the checkered flag waving Moto 1, first Moto win of the year. Seth Carr gets it done. Nerona looks like he'll be second. Unless T-Lang has something late under his sleeve, Nerona's got to just hold on. Carter will be confirmed as 13th place in this moto. Nerona is just tiptoeing in his Jordans around this track right now, trying to stay in second place. Looks like he is on his way to doing that, though. He's clean through some of the more difficult sections of the track. Got to get these bumps clean, though, and good. So Ben Nerona second. Tyler Lang in third. Great ride for the 5 as well. And Matherly, who almost got to third in this race, will settle for 4th. Wyatt Grant should be 5th. Yeah, he's dealing with lap traffic right there. Here's a late fight. Castellaneta versus Hunter Ash. And Castellaneta is going to absolutely shred the inside line right there. Can Hunter Ash get him back? To the outside line. Castellaneta is going to stay outside all the way to this inside rut. Does Hunter Ash have any answer? Well, Castellaneta made a mistake. Ash is going to be right there with 2 turns to go. Castellaneta ripped the second to last corner and defends the inside here to hold on and finish up in 6th. 7th for Ash. Holtze 8th. Siebold 9th. Blakely 10th. And Cooper Hunt 11th. Ash Deering 12th, Braden Carter 13th, 14th for Austin Schaefer, 15th was Schiabro, 17th Brandon Larson, 16th, Brandon Larson. 17th, Adam Holm. 18th, points. 4 of them for Matty B, Matt Burkeen, Race Coble in 19th, and 20th for Austin Bear. 21st, Langstrip. There is the new points as they run. Carr goes to a 13-point lead over T-Lang and Braden Carter. That is Moto 1 done and dusted. Got a fellow joining me in the studio right now. We'll jump back into this screen. What do you got for us, Maddie? Momo. Can you say Momo? Can you say cheese? Cheese. Baby. Very, very quietly. We're learning words as we go. Can you say nine-nine? Nine-nine? No? Nothing? Good try, buddy. High five. Yeah, good job. Yeah, good job, buddy. Clap. Yay. Okay. Good night, buddy. Love you. All right, we're going to send you guys to commercial break. We'll be back on the other side of this with more of MX Simulator Pro Motocross live here on Start Your Systems TV.
Have you been to the area's premier radio-controlled hobby shop and raceway? Underground Raceway and Hobbies in Great Northern Mall has 2 indoor tracks for racing at every experience level. Don't have your own car? No problem. You can rent one from us. When you're ready to get your own, we've got an on-site hobby shop with everything you need, including all the popular brands. Underground Raceway and Hobbies has kits for land, sea, and air. Cars, boats, planes, you name it. Come see us next to Dick's in the Great Northern Mall in Clay.
Alrighty, back in studio with you guys here for round number 2 of the 2026 Pro Motocross Championship in MX Simulator. 250 Moto 2 getting ready to come at you. Can't wait to bring it to you. And hopefully the sound was fixed. The annoying thing about this microphone is it's got a little dial on it. And it's supposed to be able to twist to affect input gain. The input gain I have to have on this mic is set at about 40. If you touch it at all, it just goes back to 0. It's a super dumb mic that Logitech made. I want to get a Shure mic very soon. So that's why the sound went away for just a minute for those that were confused. But let's jump back in and get ready to drop the gate here on Moto 2. What will happen? Who will get the whole shot? We're going to try to see where it comes from. Definitely not the far outside. Can Antonio Velati maybe get it up the inside? How about Jackson Vick in race 2? Is he in line for a better one? It's time to drop the gate here at Hangtown. Let's go! Elliott Person trying to make it 2 for 2 as a lot of guys go down, and I think it was Stats Guy whole shot to Elliott Person, the rapid Swede out front again. Ryan Chousey right with him, Colin Allen 3rd, Jake Spieth 4th. And I do not see the red plate holder or the 1. They are buried again. So it's Person from Chelsea as they are 1-2. Remember, they were 1-2 in race number 1. Chelsea with the win. Person second. Joey Carter third. Joey Carter had a pretty good launch into turn number 1, but he's back in 13th, so he may have gotten knocked around a little bit on that inside line. Pass for second place might happen here with Jake Spieth up the inside. It's going to go triple and get up alongside Chelsea. That is good enough. He'll quad up. And here comes the 14 at Cash Woods as well to the outside. Oh, Person was down. Person was down with the race lead, so Jake Spieth takes over. It is Spieth now from Chelsea and Cash Woods, 1, 2, 3 on the racetrack. And this is setting up awful nice for Ryan Cheesecake Washed Chelsea in terms of an overall perspective, but a lot of racing still to be had. As these three try to work together, Tom Quinault back there in 4th. Christopher Harris having a hell of a day after 7th in the first moto, is 5th early in this one. 25th for Braden Tharp, 19th for Jackson Vick. Just not their day at the races right now. And honestly, I feel like the point situation might be completely upside down after today because no one's really had 2 good weeks, so to speak. Spieth might be the one with the best right now, but even that first moto for him, he was 11th. So at the end of lap number 1, it's Jake Spieth from Ryan Chelsea, Cash Woods, Tom Quinault, and Christopher Harris inside of the top 5. Hayden Stevenson, Elliott Person, Dylan Bollinger, Jack Mark, and Devin Johnson round out your top 10. Joey Carter did go down on that first lap. He's outside of your top 30. Little kick there for Spieth coming down the downhill. So if you're Chelsea here, overall is in your back pocket as it runs. Cash Woods was 13th, Jake Spieth was 11th, and the fact they're sandwiching you while you're in second means absolutely nothing for the overall. So stay right here and kind of just go with them, I would say, if you're the 26. Don't let Spieth necessarily get way too far away, and actually could even get the lead back right here with a cheeky quad double. Let's see if he goes for it. He does. And he's going to get it. Ryan Chelsea, never mind, sunshine. Back to the race lead. Battle for second brewing now between the teammates, Spieth and Cash Woods. Number 15 and 14 in your program book if you're keeping track at home. And they're set to battle it out for second as Spieth goes into the tough blocks there. Cash Woods looks a little bit more feisty in this moto as well. See how he can fare in this potential pass lining up with Jake Spieth. Chelsea already 2.33 seconds out front. And opening that gap up a little bit as Spieth and Cash Woods start to battle each other. Jackson Vick up to 13th, by the way, so he's making good progress. And Woods is trying to use his inside against all hope, really. Not going to make it happen just yet. Spieth retains the position. In fact, I feel like they're maybe gapping just enough from each other to run their own race because Chelsea isn't getting fully away just yet. Spieth actually opens that gap up now on Cash Woods a little bit as Harris moves up to 4th on his SwapMotoLive.com Suzuki in the background. Looking like a really good day for Christopher Harris. 7-4 would be awesome as Spieth gets a little bit sideways at the bottom of the hill. There is Harris, who at one point was top 5 in the first moto, had a couple late mistakes that hurt him. And how about this ride from Dylan Bollinger, man? The Twizy Cowies are ripping here tonight. Between Nerona, Matherly, now Bollinger. Gotta love to see some green machines out front. I'm just one that... So everyone went to the new KTM. I think Dickerson made it to 26, and everyone's like, yeah, that's a banger. We're going to rep that outdoors. I just like to see the variation of colors at the front, and there's not a lot of Cowies out there, so when they're up here, it's good to see. Jack Mark, much better second moto start as well. 34th in the first moto, now runs 6. Just shows you how much parity we have in this 250 division. You would think that Tharp, who won this title last year, would be able to grab this thing by the horns and do it again, but it is absolutely not working out in his favor this year. New fastest lap of the race, Jake Spieth at a 158.085, but what that graphic does not show you is that Brian Chowsey did a 158.328, so they're matching each other pretty well out front. Jack Mark trying to close down on Bollinger, and a great fight right now for 5th place. Not even a second between these two guys on the racetrack. Here's Isaiah Dickerson himself, by the way. Man who makes a lot of the bikes in this game. I wonder how practical that has been as a business model for him. It's a lot of work to make these machines, but when everyone's running them, can't be making absolutely no money out of it. I'm going to go back and find our points leader real quick. Jackson Vick early in this race, 7.5 minutes down. 15th place. And after a so-so first moto where he was only able to get to 10th, this one will also sting on the points tally. But he has time. If it's any different than the first moto, the speed should be there, and he should be able to work through some of these guys a little bit better, but we'll see how he manages that sort of scenario. Ooh, Cashwood's down. That costs him 3rd, and here comes Bollinger versus Dickerson. So now it is Chowsey, Spieth, Harris, Woods, who you're watching on your screen. 4th place for him. Bollinger down in 5th, and so too does Dickerson go down in 6th. Stevenson's going to jump up to the top 5. These guys are going to try to get going together as the 11 of Luke Sullivan goes into 6th. And here comes a whole train of people. Jack Mark, Logan Leitzel right there as well. Elliot Person not too far behind them. So 6 bikes coming down the hill together here. And this battle is essentially from 6th to 11th. Oh, and Dickerson lands on Sullivan's rear tire. Does not fall off the bike, but will lose all those positions. So now Jack Mark is going to be right there closing up on Sullivan. Oh, the front end almost went over for Jack Mark. And instead he might turn it into a pass as he's up alongside the 11. They almost come back together, but Jack Mark's just going to straight up make that pass work. And Sullivan just has to let it happen. Nothing doing there. Down goes Stevenson, and he falls back to this battle. So a lot of guys are making mistakes up front, and it's closing it up. Meanwhile, closing it up is Ryan Chowsey to Jake Spieth, because I think Spieth went down somewhere. Or did he? I don't know, but Christopher Harris is right here as well. Maybe they both went down, because Harris closed up a lot this last time by. Curious to see what the 112's lap time is. 2:03, 2:08 for Chowsey, 2:01 for Harris. So actually none of them did a very good lap. But Spieth now leads from Chowsey and Harris. And I was about to say we'll go on board with Harris. Let's go on board with Chowsey, I should say. And Spieth just made a mistake at the bottom of the hill, has the entire hill to remember that he made that mistake because it is just a little bit slower than Chelsea. Oh, there it goes. Watching the onboard sights and sounds of a battle for the lead here in MX Simulator, and Ryan Chelsea folds the nose over that inside rut. Back to fourth place he goes. Harris up to second, and now Spieth, a comfortable lead for the number 15 machine of 3.5 seconds. Harris right there. Cashwood's off the big 150 jump, and then Chelsea back to fourth. Jack Mark has climbed into the top 5, but here comes the 3 of Logan Leitzel. He was 5th in the first moto, trying to get back there again, and he also stands to be in the mix for the point situation after his ride last week at Paula. I think Chelsea would get the red plate as it stands right now, but don't count out the 3, former series champ. Off to a hot one here in the outdoors. There's points as they run 2 points in it, I should say, between Chelsea and Elliott Person actually up there. So yeah, definitely very, very tight scenarios. Jackson Vick has climbed up to 11th, by the way, 17th for Braden Tharp. Of course, you guys are able to see that on the left-hand side of your screen. Big thanks to MXS Battlegrounds and all the help that they have done to make this. Jacob Hubbard, Lane Burks coming together. Oh, Leitzel down at the top of the hill was just about to make that pass stick. And the rear end caught that inside rut. Elliott Person goes by. Dylan Bollinger's going to go by as well. Dickerson, Sullivan, and Jackson Vick not able to get there just yet. But Jackson Vick, as we mentioned, into the fray now in 11th. So again, we said early in this race, as Bollinger goes down, that's going to be top 10 now for Jackson Vick. It's really down to him and how much of a cool head he can keep in this race, how consistent he can ride. Oh, as he almost gets crossed up by Luke Sullivan. That's now 9th. He certainly has the raw speed in race trim to go forward. But if he doesn't stay on 2 wheels, it doesn't matter one lick, and he had a problem doing that in the first moto. Will be the case in Moto 2. Oh, shout out gamer girl Kayla, who says Harris is running his father's pro number in real life in 1978. Honestly, I wouldn't have the faintest guess who your dad would be that was 112 in 1978, but shout out whomever that is, as, oh, Jackson Vick goes down. And suddenly all those passes he made, gone, including the one of Tharp going by. So 15th and 16th respectively. Jackson Vick going to go back by him. But, oh, these guys just have been fighting each other way too much today in the wrong places. What we thought would maybe be a bit of a lead battle today, especially with that qualifying time from Tharp, is anything but. And back to the drawing board they both go once again. Ryder Dorigo trying to get up the inside of Jack Mark, going up the uphill. The 32 of Bodie Parker out there as well. A little fight between those guys. Then Stevenson just slid out. Gotta watch out as he's gonna block some of these guys coming back down the hill. And this is all a fight right now for 9th place with Jack Mark. Stevenson 10th. Dorigo 11th. Devin Johnson 12th. Ooh, Stevenson, a pass on Jack Mark, but then they both get passed by Ryder Dorigo, and then Jack Mark gets him back. Now Stevenson exits stage right. There goes Devin Johnson. Here comes Jackson Vick. And Vick is going to make that pass. Or will he? No, Stevenson back to the inside. Gets back by him. Not so fast, Sunshine. And the battles continue. Stevenson trying to make this inside work on Devin Johnson. Still able to get the big 150 jump. Oh, Johnson down. And Tharp is going to scoot by the outside of him. Jackson Vick went by 2. And they are now up to 12th and 13th, respectively. Let's see if they can keep working together here. Dorigo and Sullivan going at it up the road for 8th. Hell of a fight right now going on for 4th, by the way. Here it is. Chelsea and Christopher Harris. Elliot Person has gone by Ryan Chelsea, by the way. And Chelsea is going to get right back by Harris, who's going to try to go back to the inside. And he gets there. Woo! What a pass. So I think this actually gives Person the overall with a 2-3 right now. Versus the 1-5 out of Chelsea. And Chelsea just went down again, so Leitzel's going to go by. Boy, the point situation is quite befuddling at the moment. So Leitzel went through. Harris 4th. Elliot Person has quietly snuck all the way up into 3rd out of nowhere. And we still got to figure out the District Design's teammates battle for the lead right now. Oh my. Jake Spies just had the head shake of his life on the nose right there in transition for that double. And if he went down, Cash Woods would have been leading this race, but he stayed on 2 wheels. 4.8 seconds between them. They are gone, by the way. They are 17 seconds ahead of everybody else. So Elliot Person would take the red plate over Jackson Vick, Logan Leitzel, Jake Spies, and Ryan Chelsea, all separated by 11 points. Sheesh, and I feel like that's going to still change quite a bit in the closing stages of this moto. Looks like Leitzel has disposed of Harris up to 4th. There is Dorigo. And Jackson Vick is now up to 7th. Hold that thought, though. There's Chelsea to the outside, gets him back. Oh, and never mind. Chelsea's down. Wow, Ryan Chelsea is starting to throw this away for good. He's all the way back to 12th when this looked like a perhaps not only surefire overall win, but even perhaps the red plate leaving here. And he's watched a lot of positions go by. Braden Tharp and Jackson Vick are definitely working together better a lot more this moto. Tharp, who was 19th in the first moto, has now moved up to 7th by Jackson Vick. Got to keep an eye out for Isaiah Dickerson on the 260, also right back there. Rider down. That is the 56 of Ryder Dorigo. And now Tharp and Vick are 6th and 7th. And you can't see me right now, but my left and right hands are alternating up and down. Oh, Christopher Harris was down. There's 2 more spots. And Dickerson's going to go by with them. Now 5th and 6th. This is working out quite nicely for both of them, to the point where Vic could maybe still leave here with the red plate. It's going to be close with Elliott Person and himself, but we will see. Isaiah Dickerson right there with him, not wanting to let the 18 machine get away. Oh man, Chelsea all the way back to 21st place. It has absolutely come unglued for him after winning the first moto. This is just like last week. We had Colin Allen win the first moto and then a very disappointing second moto for him. And once again tonight, Colin Allen a bit of a non-factor. But Chelsea wins the first moto this week and follows it up again with some disappointment as Tharp was down. Tharp was down at the bottom of the hill, so Jackson Vick is going to shoot by into 5th, and he will contain that position as Dickerson is dealing with some heat from Christopher Harris right now. Harris down the inside. Very, very close. Man, these guys could even catch Leitzel, who's only 3 seconds ahead of him. Speaking of battles, though, race lead is being contended. 22 minutes into this race, and Jake Spiess has Cash Woods breathing down his neck. Can Cash Woods capitalize on some late race faltering from his teammate? Woods, the 250 West champion. Jake Spiess, second in 250 East. Teammates that both had a shot at winning indoors, and one capitalized, the other did not. But the tables have turned outdoors a bit, and Spiess seems to have the upper hand on his teammate, but not for long. There goes Cash Woods to the race lead. Spiess's mistakes have finally caught up to him, and Woods takes over at the front of the field. And as it runs, we are looking at 4 different winners across 4 different motos. It might happen anyway. Woods off track right there. But Cash Woods has taken back over the race lead. And now it's Jake Spiess's turn to do a bit of the chasing. Go back out of this battle for a second to see that Jackson Vick has definitely reeled in Logan Leitzel for the 4th position. So I said that battle wasn't over yet, and it absolutely is not. And Vic is going to get a huge run up this hill right now. Does he go for the pass attempt already? He's going to try. Not quite close enough. So Leitzel retains the 4th position, but it is absolutely under siege as Jackson Vick has closed up. Only 4 seconds back of this battle is Braden Tharp in 6th. And while these two battle, Spiess is starting to reel Woods back in for the race lead. Which one do we watch? I think this one so far is a little bit closer, so we'll stick with it. Vic's going to try this rut that's worked quite well for some guys today, but it's not going to happen just yet. Oh, man. I opened the window to my office. Well, shout out my wife who opened the window, and it is just, oh, chef's kiss how much cooler outside it is right now. I did promise, Coda. I did promise, and I have once again failed my community. I'll accept my 40 lashes. I'll try to remember next week. Someone ping me in Discord to remind me. Maybe even send it to me if you could, because I don't know who did it. Brendan Phipps in chat would like to see a live points check again, if we could perhaps have that. From my dear friend iMoto. We'll get that up right now for you. Elliot Person and Jackson Vick tied. 71 points each. Logan Leitzel 4 back, Spieth 11. And Vic is under siege from Mr. Braden Tharp. MX Stiley. I guess we must be rather close to each other then. I'm not going to reveal my location. But good call out there. Oh, Vic and Tharp are just going at it. Look at this inside move for Tharp, ripping it. Doolies. Not quite big enough to really say it loudly and yell out the window to my neighbors, but look at that pass from Tharp. Round the outside, and gets it done. What a move by the one. Up into 5th place. Now can he go run down Logan Leitzel, which Vic just could not quite do. Luke Sheff, by the way, redeemed 10,000 channel points on Twitch to add 1 second to Redbud when I scream it out, and is now demanding that I have to stream Redbud, which I would say is unlikely because Redbud is, along with Unadilla, one of my worst travel days to commence, so I don't think I would stream for 4 hours the night before I got to go sit on a plane for a long time. And Tharp passed Vic and just dropped him. No, they do not give a point to fastest lap of the moto, Luke Gearing. That is only Formula 1. And maybe Formula E too, I guess. Not out of the woods yet. Logan Leitzel could feel the one of Tharp breathing down his neck here soon enough, I'm sure. Vic's still right there. Christopher Harris looking at a 7-7 day. Oh, they don't? I thought F1 still did. That's my bad then. My B. Hi, Reaper Doc. Welcome to the chat. As everyone knows, Jesus loves you, and so do I. Any good fights going on right now? Not really. Ryan Chelsea has stabilized. He went all the way back to 20th. Back up to 10th. Honestly, I do not know who's the overall winner right now. I'm trying to think. I guess it'd be Elliot Person 2-3 still. And then Leitzel second with a 5-5, or is Chelsea with a 1-10 beat him? Okay, thank you, iMoto, for trying to work that out, because these guys aren't making it easy for my old head right now. Look at this line from Parker to the outside. Doesn't work. Switches back to the inside on Cheesecake. Not able to get there. Hey, shout out Reaper Doc. Thank you so much for the $10 donation. Very, very much appreciated, good sir. The last little bits of the diaper fund, to be honest, because we're really starting to teeter on to potty training my son. Hopefully that will happen quickly. But yeah, thank you, Reaper Doc. Straight from the heart, man. I appreciate that, buddy. Person, Chelsea, Woods, Leitzel, Spieth, the overall right now. I don't know, man. 13-1 gets you third place overall. Sheesh. This Chelsea Parker battle is relentless too, by the way. Parker is just putting Chelsea through the ringer for 10th place, and Chelsea's like, come on, man. Just let me have this podium. I want it. I need it. That's true, Luke Chef. 6'4" does get you second. IRL. Shout out Caden Dudney. 16 years of age young. On the podium in the 250 outdoor class. Chelsea finally looks like he might have broken Bodie Parker just a little bit. Oh, Sullivan's down at the top of the hill. Does Chelsea know that? Does someone tell him? Oh, Lordy, he might not. Let's see. Oh, jumps to the outside as Sullivan gets going. Wow, Christopher Harris has repassed Jackson Vick. And speaking of passing Jackson Vick, Logan Leitzel would like a word with him as well. Vic's like, hold on, guys. I would like to go back forward, please. Backwards is not where I want to be going. But Harris has passed Jackson Vick. Now, can Leitzel go through too? Or will Vick respond from this position? Well, Harris jumped off the track, and that is the answer right there for you. Jackson Vick through and into the fifth position once again. Leitzel will get by Harris as well. There is the overall as they run. Person on 42, Chelsea 37, Woods 34, Vick down again, Spieth on 33, Harris on 32. I don't know, man. Put me on the Pulp MX show, because I don't know, man. These guys are making way, way too many mistakes. Meanwhile, white flag about to wave for our race leader, Cash Woods. Trying to make it 4 different winners in 4 motos to start the season. And 3.9 seconds is his race lead. So can he hold on from here? We will wait and see. Oh, the rear end trying to step out. That's going to be a heart-in-mouth moment, is what we like to call that. Balls in the belly. But Woods is still ripping out front. And honestly, kudos to him, because he didn't look quite the outdoor maestro at the opening round at Paula off his 250 West Supercross title, where he really was the man to beat in that class. Wrapped it up 2 rounds early. But outdoors, it was like, is this going to be the carryover? Is it going to transform him into an outdoor guy to have a indoor title in his name? And it kind of seemed like after Paula, maybe the answer to that question would have been no. But he has fought back with a vengeance here in Moto 2, specifically at Hangtown, because Moto 1 was more of the same. 13th place. But something has ignited him here in Moto 2. And he just waited patiently for his teammate to make the mistakes out front. And Jake Spieth eventually did do that, which opened the door for Cash Woods to do what he has done here at Hangtown. And with 3 corners left to go, it's going to put his name on a list of 4 different riders across 4 motos to have won a moto to start the season here in the great outdoors. But this one will feel sweet, given the way this year has started for the 14 machine. 250 Supercross champ back in the winner's circle. Cash Woods wins Moto 2 here at Hangtown. Jake Spieth second in this, but this man will walk out of here with the overall and I believe a least share of the red plate, if not the sole possession of it. 2-3 will be enough to get it done today in a topsy-turvy day at the Hangtown Classic. Elliott Person is your round 2 winner in the 250 class. He stands on top and puts Sweden on the board as he collects his first career overall win. That might be the first for Sweden ever. I'm trying to rack my brain. Linus Anderson maybe won one. We'll see. Tharp back to 4th. Leitzel back to 5th. Vic gets 6th. Harris goes 7-7 on the day. Ryder DeRigo 8th. Luke Sullivan going to go 8-9. Ryan Chowsey will go 110. And I think that does just enough to salvage a podium for him over Cash Woods. Well, actually, he should get second overall, I think, right? Oh, 110 for second is criminal. But I think that's what we're looking at right now. So Chowsey does indeed end up in 10th after winning the first moto. Padani 11th. Bodie Parker in 12th. Antonio Vellotti 13th. Hayden Stevenson is down, but he'll get 14th because Caden Kepke's too far back. So going by Kepke is Dylan Dallaire. Oh, Vic did get 7th. Harris got him on penalties. So there you go. So Kepke goes back by Dallaire. Jack Marks 17th. Colin Allen 18th. Joey Carter was the first rider lap down in 19th. Devin Johnson 20th. And Dylan Bollinger gets the 21st and final point. Elliott Person does indeed gain sole possession of the red plate heading into Thunder Valley next week by 1 point over Jackson Vick, 5 over Logan Leitzel, and 11 over Jake Spiess. Braden Tharp falls to 5th in the standings after a weird and wild night of racing here at Hangtown. But that 82 machine will go to red when we return to racing next week in Colorado. And I'm sure he's going to feel oh so good about it. Solid day of the races for Elliott Person, and Sweden wins here at Hangtown. All right. Congratulations, Elliott Person. We'll be back on the other side of this quick break for more action. You are watching the 2026 Pro Motocross Championship and MX Simulator live here on Start Your Systems.
As the rocks crumbled, tiny pieces mingled with decayed leaves, old roots. Over many more years, these bits mixed, turned into something new. This dirt was special, and the cycle of life continued.
Welcome back, everyone, into round number 2 of the 2026 Pro Motocross Championship in MX Simulator. My name is Kellen Brower, and we have one moto left to run here tonight. It is, of course, the second 450 moto, and if you missed the first 450 moto, well, you missed a absolute slaying of the guard by Seth Carr, lapped all the way up to 12th place, I believe, and won by about 50 seconds over Ben Nerona, and Tyler Lang was 3rd. He also had a great ride from Cade Matherly to get all the way back to 4th, but crucially, Braden Carter, the points leader, 13th in the first moto. So we're looking at Seth Carr really walking into Moto 2 with a great positioning to retake the points lead back over, and maybe, just maybe, absolutely put a hurting on everybody else in this 450 class here in Moto 2. So we thank you guys for joining us here tonight at Hangtown. We got one moto left to run, and hopefully you've enjoyed the show so far. A lot of good turnout here in the chat. A lot of people chatting and talking to us all evening long, and the support has been tremendous. So thank you guys so much for that. Big shout out to Race Factor Gaming for all the work they do behind the scenes to make this race possible for us to call. And we've got one moto left to go. Has anybody got anything for the one? Golly, was he good in that first moto. Carter switched up the gear, Moto 2, going with the blue and the white. Will it be enough? We're about to find out, aren't we? There's the overall from the 250 class in case you missed it. Elliott Person. Ryan Chowsey second, Cash Woods third, Jake Spieth fourth, Christopher Harris with a 7-6 day rounds out the top 5. Where's the start going to come from? It is critical time to win the second moto here at Hangtown. Who gets it? Stats Guy Whole Shot. Let's go racing. Go time. 2 for 2 for the deuce. Does he get it this time? No, I think it was Carr up the inside that snuck it away from him again. Stats Guy Holsh, yeah, to the one of Seth Carr. Braden Carter in second early on. Evan Holt third up the inside on the 23. Maybe up to second, actually, as he's going to get by Carter, but Carter's going to low line the outside and get him right back. Wyatt Grant is up here as well, so all the fast dudes at the sharp end of the field chasing the one once again. Question is this a repeat of Moto 1, or can someone get up there and ruffle the feathers of your defending champion? Got to find out. Carter's going to try to go with him early. Wyatt Grant also very quick in qualifying, wants to go with them as well. Carr with the quad double up the hill. Those guys followed him through though, and Carr actually came up a tiny bit short when the two behind him did not. So you can see as the track is a bit greener, it resets every time the server restarts. The track fully resets back to what its base was, and then the road system gets in a little bit as the race goes on, wears the track down, the braking bumps form, the ruts get a bit deeper. So you'll see that happen as the race goes on. But right now it is very fresh, very green for these guys as they try to figure it out on the opening lap of the race once again. Wyatt Grant thinking of a pass for second place on Braden Carter. These guys have already put 3 seconds on Brandon Larson behind them in third place. As Carr is just trying to mosey away out front. Oh, Wyatt Grant rips through the outside, scrubs the finish line down the inside, and gets the inside hooked. He's up to second. Great move by the 27. Fifth in the first moto, but we know that he has the speed to go with Seth Carr. In fact, he might be the only guy to have it. These are the only two guys to go to the 151 second range in qualifying as Carr goes for a bit of a ride down the hill. Oh, Grant's down. Never mind. And here goes a handful of riders, including... Where did he fall back to? He is behind Austin Pardelow. So 6th place now. Pardelow up to 5th. Hunter Ash 4th. Brandon Larson 3rd. Braden Carter 2nd. Once again, Carter with the scrub and a half right there almost went down. Carter very much not an outdoor guy. He'll tell you that every single day of the week, but he did win the opening round, hence the red plate on his number 2 District Designs KTM. But as tough as this guy is, especially when you don't feel comfortable outdoors, it might even be tougher to run with him. And Carr, I think, seems a bit fired up from last week, still to this second, because he has already opened up almost 5 seconds on his teammate in this race, nearly 10 on everybody else. Yep. I think Seth Carr is laying it down. Let's go back and watch some more battles, though. Larson, Hunter Ash, Wyatt Grant, and Pardelow. Pardelow has been passed by Wyatt Grant. Looks like the 25 of Cade Matherly, who is 4th in the first moto, is the Cowie that's up here. So we had Nerona up front early. He slipped back to 13th. And Grant's still trying to use that outside to inside line. Just doesn't get there on Hunter Ash. But this is the send mode we expect from Wyatt Grant, And he is delivering once again. Caution to the wind. Brandon Larson feeling the heat now. Hunter Ash, who was 7th in the first moto as well. A very, very solid day so far for him. Trying to move his way into 3rd place early in this race. Grant rips the outside. Here comes Matherly on Partolo as well. He has definitely gotten in this group as we've got 5 riders nose to tail at the step-up triple at the top of the hill. Larson lays it down and everyone scatters to avoid him. Nicely done by all 4 riders to not hit him. Partolo to the outside of Ash might get him. Grant goes inside. Double-double. Does he get Ash? Or Partolo, I should say. He does get by Hunter Ash. Matherly's going to try to swoop the inside and get them both. Not going to do it, though. Grant gets back by. This outside line has been the ticket. Does it work for Wyatt Grant? On Austin Partolo, not just yet, or maybe not. Yes, it does. Inside at the bottom of the hill, a little bit faster. And when you can get on the rear tire like Wyatt Grant just did right there, it is a very, very smooth line to get to. As Matherly closes up, Ash dealing with the heat from Brandon Larson. This is a great train of riders right here, pushing each other. Oh, 1:53.757, new fastest lap of the race for Seth Carr. As a race lap, that's stupid. Nobody other than Carr and Wyatt Grant were sub 154s in qualifying, and Carr just went that exact sub 154 in the race. And it's early in the race, too. The track is arguably going to get a little bit faster in the next few laps. And he's already doing that. Unreal. Hunter Ash, a little bit of a mistake, has lost touch with that group just a bit now. And Tyler Lang, who was 3rd in the first moto, sensing opportunity to close up. Cade Matherly has gone down, by the way. He has slipped back behind T. Lang to 7th. As Cooper Hunt, Ben Nerona, Adam Holm having a hell of a ride right now. Multi-time MX1 champion in the GP series that they used to run in Race Factory Gaming competition. And almost the 2018 Pro Motocross champion in this game. He had it. And Leclerc punted him in the final corner on the final lap of the final race of the season to win it. But Adam Holm is back racing outdoors and sent me his 2019 Honda pack that he's running. Great to see. Lang was down and Nerona had nowhere to go, hits him and goes down as well. Now these guys are going to get up just as these guys are hopping over him, and they both scoot out of there quickly. All right, you guys asked for it. So he's going to give us a lap on board. 11-second lead. 156 flat, so a little bit slower this time by, but let's just watch a lap of Seth Carr. I'm going to shut up and let you guys enjoy. Oh, down goes Carr from the race lead, so never mind with the onboard. And he's in a very peculiar spot. That's going to take a second for him to get looped back around. But he does retain the lead. He was 11 seconds out. That's going to go down to 2.7. Thank you, Luke Sheff, for reminding me that I'm an idiot and GPs do still exist. Shows me how out of the loop I am. But there goes the Carr hot lap that we wanted to see. Tell you what, meanwhile, Wyatt Grant did his personal best at 157.0 last time by and gained almost 2 seconds on Braden Carter. He is also flying. Maybe I will, Luke Sheff. Maybe I will. paid my own hard-earned cash and used my knobbies to race EU last week, so just feeding the system. I did a single event pass too, because I know I won't be able to make all the EU rounds, so no sense in spending the 20 for the season pass. All right, car has stabilized and already gained a second on Carter, but I feel like this battle for second is going to tighten up quickly here because Wyatt Grant is absolutely flying around the track right now. And we're back at it. 155.265, his personal best, and 4.5 seconds faster than Carter last time by. Carter makes a mistake. Wyatt Grant up the inside. Into second place he goes. All right, so we're back to arguably the only man who has the speed to run with our current race leader. Let's see if he can do it. Carter wants to get back, though. Dualies, mini dualies on the uphill triple. Carter doesn't want to let him have it. Oh, man, Wyatt Grant forced the issue right there. And he's going to take this position by doing that. Well, Mr. Donovan, I went 31-21. So I scored a point. Got a point. But, yeah, could have been better. Those asking in chat where Matty B is, well, the 18th in the first moto seems like the only points we will see out of him today. He is all the way back in 31st place right now, unfortunately for him. But he's still out here being a loose unit. There's no choice whatsoever. He's got to do it. Dealing with some pressure from Walter Gebhardt. Gebhardt going to go by. Off day for Gebhardt. I don't know why either, because Gebhardt was pretty good last week at Paula. Wait a minute. Change for the lead. Seth Carr is back to second. Wyatt Grant is leading at Hangtown. So Wyatt Grant, fifth in the first moto, jumps to the race lead. And suddenly Seth Carr is on the back foot again. So another crash, it must have been 203.4. He does a 203.4 with the legs, or did he not have the legs? I don't even know. But we'll go back on board with him because people were asking for it earlier, and now he's got a carrot to chase in front of him. So let's see what happens. So we actually have ourselves a bit of a barn burner here in 450 Moto 2 when we thought maybe it was going to be a runaway from Carr. He was kind of doing that, and then we went on board with him, and then he went down. And he still had the lead, but he must have done something else, a crash somewhere that we didn't see, because instead Wyatt Grant has taken over. And I'll tell you what, Grant's actually kind of pulled away on this lap. A little bit. And Carr's not going to get the 5 up the hill right here either, so Grant pulls away a little bit more. 155.742 for Grant last time by was his personal best again. It's still not the fastest lap of the race. Almost out to 4 seconds for Wyatt Grant. This is crazy to see Seth Carr kind of losing time as the lap goes on, really. Oh, jumps up to the top of the hill, goes a little bit long. And then goes a little bit long at the bottom of the hill, too, so he's blown a couple ruts in a row. And what is Wyatt Grant's time about to be? Well, he blows the last corner as we go on board with him, and he still goes 55.8. Seth Carr, who is faltering a little bit now, 158.9, so still a very good lap time. But it's coming unglued a bit right now. This is interesting. Grant, Carr, Carter. Your top three, the heavy hitters of this series now, it seems. And Seth Carr is a bit bewildered at the moment as to why those early hot laps he was doing have not come back to him just yet. Meanwhile, Wyatt Grant just putting it down out front. Still going for the 5 on the uphill. There's your overall as it runs right now. Carr would, of course, with a 1-2 walk away with the overall, but Grant, second moto win would pull him to second, Nerona third, Adderley fourth, and a solid top 5 effort for Hunter Ash today. .9-second lead for Wyatt Grant, so I think Carr has kind of responded a bit to that gap going out, and I'm curious to see the lap times this time by. Oh, Grant, whoa, over the front of that rut, and there goes the change of position back. He actually doesn't lose that much time in the legs. 3.5 back now, but then we have a bit of a switcheroo right here. So 57.2, Seth Carr did lower his time by about a second, but Grant goes 206.4 with the legs. So now, does Wyatt Grant go into full send mode, or are we going to settle back down? We'll see. We shall see. This is where inexperience could be a little bit problematic because Grant had it, and he was also going so fast when he got there, so the flow state might still be at the forefront of his mind, but you can't overdo it. So quick through that corner. Does he still go for the 5? He does, and he gets it. So he still is going for the big boys, and honestly, he's not losing time again. He's gaining it back, actually. Rider down. That's a lapped rider getting out of the way. And we are definitely into lappers now, so Carr's going to have to navigate them first as it stands. I feel like Grant might be trying to close it back down. I'm actually kind of curious what this lap time is going to be, especially with how gnarly the track's getting. Grant is ripping right now. Still hooks that inside rut at the top of the hill. He's got it back down almost 2 seconds. It was almost out to 5 at the start of the lap. Rider down. That's a lapper. Corner speed, very, very solid for Wyatt Grant right now. Okay, Seth Carr, 57.3. Wyatt Grant, 56.1. Yeah, it's go time. So can Grant reel in the fastest rider in the world right now? The reigning 450 outdoor champion, your current 450 Supercross champion, and also your reigning playoffs champion on the 450. He has done everything in a calendar year you can do in this game. But the youngin' is running him down. 2.5 seconds still the gap. And Carr is just trying to stabilize it at that. Up his own pace a little bit is Grant. Pushing the envelope. Has to go double-double here. I don't think that's enough to 5. Nope, still going to go 4-2 though. Seth Carr would open up a 18-point lead in this championship as Wyatt Grant would jump all the way up into a top 5 position. But he's eyeing more, man. He wants 3 more points, which could even move him up to 4th. in the standings. Oh, that's not going to help. Really good save, though. Very, very good save. For what could have been much, much worse with how sideways he got through that section. All right, more lappers at play. 3-2-7 of Josh Gilmore gets outside and out of the way. Looks like he was told not to run his number 27 skin. So there you go. All right. Coming up on 20 minutes into the moto. And I don't want to go away from the lead battle for too long, but we're going to do it for just a second here to take us through the field. Brought to you by Underground RC. It is Seth Carr from Wyatt Grant. Braden Carter, a very solid rebound moto in third. Cade Matherly looking at a 4-4 day. Ben Nerona looking at a 2-5 day. That actually might be enough to get on the podium overall. We'll wait and see. Austin Partillo, much better second moto, up in 6th. Hunter Ash in 7th. Tyler Lang 8th, Chase Blakely 9th, and Adam Holm is currently rounding out our top 10. Cooper Hunt 11th, Brandon Larson in 12th, Ash Deering 13th, Tucker Zimmerman 14th, with Sonny Spicer right behind him in 15th, Austin Bear 16th, Caden Penkow 17th, Devin Davis, better moto for him, he's 18th this time, with Devin Ryan in P19, Jeremy Siebold 20th, and Braden Castellaneta in the final points paying position. There's a couple of guys outside looking in. Reno Brennan and Evan Holt are trying to get back into the points. So they're fighting each other. And that is a run through the field. We have a new leader. I missed it. Wyatt Grant has gone back to the front, and Seth Carr has gone back to the drawing board again. Must have had it fall, I guess. Couldn't have been very long because he's only 3.3 seconds back. But status quo has flipped once again, and now it is Wyatt Grant's turn to lead. At this point, I'm curious how much Carr cares. He's going to win the overall regardless, and he's going to open up a pretty substantial championship lead as well. And Matherly just got by Carter for the 3 spot as Carr lays it down, and that might be all the wiggle room that Wyatt Grant needed. And if you're Carr, now the trouble area comes from these guys closing up on you. Cade Matherly and Braden Carter are not going to be too far back. So now Carr has a little bit more regrouping to do as Wyatt Grant opens up a 13-second lead. And Matherly very quietly and methodically has found his way into a podium spot. Forgot he has the no FP model. It's a telltale sign right there that Matherly is a third-person player, which we all know anyway because of his YouTube videos, but when someone doesn't have a first-person JM, it's because they don't need it. So I always put first-person JMs on my stuff, regardless of which, but I was never a first-person player. I didn't need it, so Matherly clearly doesn't need it. Is that on all the Twizy bikes, though? I guess so. Nerona's also got the same problem. Didn't classify Nerona as a third-person player, but I suppose he might be. All right, Carr has stabilized a bit here because got up and was only about 2 seconds in front of Matherly. It's about 3 exactly, even maybe a bit more than that. And he actually did kind of close up on Grant just a little bit. So Carr, Grant, Nerona, your overall podium as it runs. Can you imagine going 4-3 for 4th? Couldn't be me. Yes, Cade did 5 those rollers. The hot line on the 450s is jumping 5 and going 2 to the top of the hill. If you can. I mean, it's not easy for sure. Got a little battle brewing here for 4th potentially. Carter not out of the woods just yet as Ben Nerona has clawed up to his rear tire. Ooh, Carter, a mistake. Nerona runs into him, and that's going to cause Carter to go flipping. How Nerona didn't go down, I have no idea. But fortunately for Carter, Partolo is down too. Partolo will get going before Hunter Ash gets there. Hunter Ash dealing with heat from Tyler Lang, who's clawing as many points back as he can right now. A third in the first moto. He obviously is going to be at least somewhat in the mix for this title fight. And the third was good. The seventh right now is not. And Hunter Ash might get him back on this inside. Yeah, look at that. Good move by the 62. That's not good, though. Slide out on landing. That rut just gave out from him. So Lang up into seventh. He'll be eyeing Partolo at the top of the hill next. There is Cade Matherly, still about 4.5 seconds back of Carr now, who is definitely cooking again. 8.6 seconds to gap. Tell you what, the main problem right now is that Wyatt Grant is in lapped traffic. There's a lot of it. And some of the lines that Grant was using to his advantage by not having to go to the main line are getting a bit blown out as well. So he doesn't have that kind of smooth, sneaky advantage that the other guys could not capitalize on by hitting the main lines. And if you're Carr, you're going to be looking up ahead and seeing that time come down quite a bit and thinking, I can do this. Matherly would move to second in the standings as it runs by a point over Carter. 17-point lead for Seth Carr, leaving Hangtown if it stays this way. Carter has slipped back to sixth, by the way, and is at 156.9 last time by for Carr. Almost 4 seconds faster than your race leader, Wyatt Grant. But again, lap traffic. So now that Carr has a few of these guys to navigate, how much, if at all, is it a hindrance for him? We shall wait and see. 71 would be first. That's Devin Davis, 25th. Then Matt Burkeen. Oh, Wyatt Grant's down in the rollers. Not a lengthy crash, though, and he's going to get back on right behind Seth Carr, which is actually critical because Gebhardt couldn't get between them as a lapper and teammate to Carr. So Grant could just force the issue back right away and try to make the pass, but we'll see what he does here. Fight for the lead is on at Hangtown. Rider down. That was Burkeen going down in front of them. Grant's going to jump to the outside. Carr goes middle. Grant just flirting with the edge of that outside rut. But it is Carr back to the race lead for the time being. Grant back to this inside rut. It's worked out well for him. Where are the different options? Where are they going? They're both going to tuck to the far inside here. Middle rut here. And Carr a little bit cleaner through those two. Opens up that gap. Coming down to the final 2 minutes on the clock. They might still get another lap in this race even. With the pace they're setting out front. 1 second in it. Now Carr in the pressure cooker, though. And again, the first to hit lappers, which they're starting to get into some good ones. They're about to lap into points. Oh, Grant ripped that corner. Low lines the outside, off track, around Schiabro, who was trying to let him go. But Grant wasn't going to be letting off, and he just destroyed that rut too. Dooley's on the uphill triple. He's trying to pull up alongside. They almost come together, and Wyatt Grant is back into the race lead at Hangtown. What a move to get the lead back. Holy cannolis, that move. Incredible. And now going to lap the 6.67 of Nicholas Langstrup, who's like, please, I just want to try to get a point here, but these guys are just ripping by. Unbelievable. That was a sick pass. And now Carr, I feel like a bit like, yeah, man, just have it. I'm winning the overall anyway. I'm going to have the points lead. Do I need it? I don't think I do, but maybe he still wants another go at it. He's going to get out of the lappers here. Or will he? 667 machine racing him pretty hard there. Grant misses his favorite inside rut, so it is not over just yet. 1 second in it, and these ruts becoming a bit devious as another off-track excursion for Wyatt Grant, and Carr is back on the prowl. They are indeed going to get an extra lap as Carr down the inside tries to take it. Not going to get there. 3 laps to go at Hangtown, and time is now going to expire. These guys just missed the clock, and Wyatt Grant was like, please just let me get the 2-lap card. Carr down the inside for the race lead. Not going to get it. He's going down. Wyatt Grant blows the ruts, but Carr has to flip it around. He gets hit from behind, and he's still trying to flip it around. He still hasn't got it righted yet, and now he's going to get going. That wasn't even a legs, but it was longer than a legs off crash with the way that he spun around right there. And Grant survives the attack, at least for now. Still 2.5 laps to go, though, and lappers galore. The 90 machine of Devin Ryan in 19th place right in front of him. This track is starting to bite as well. Now will Carr simply want to settle here? I don't think he wants to, man. I think he wants to win this damn race. And he'll be thrilled if Grant does another mistake out front. Oh, that leper takes him out, and that is the nail in the coffin, I would have to believe. Still in line to win the overall. But I think the moto win is out of the question, and Wyatt Grant will see that time balloon out to nearly 20 seconds and be thanking his lucky days. How about this ride for Ben Nerona? Second in the first moto, has gotten to 4th, is right behind his Twizy teammate, Cade Matherly, for 3rd. And these two are basically fighting for a podium spot, I think, at this point. Nerona just says, forget your track limits. Yeah, Wyatt does have cuts for sure. No question about that. Ooh, Matherly flipping off the track in the Deegan zone over here, where Deegan did a helicopter a few years back. So Nerona up to 3rd, a 2-3 day for him. That would be huge for the 16 machine if he gets up here on the box. And as I say that, he flips off the track. Is he going to lose a spot, though? No, he's not. Going to get back on in front of his teammates still. Austin Partolo into the top 5. This is an MX Bikes player, too, but I always forget who this is. You guys always have to tell me. But I know that he's a bikes guy. Ooh, Lang. High-centered on a rut right here. Look at how deep these ruts are getting, man. Lang just drags it all the way through the corner right there. 6th place for Tyler Lang at the moment. Juice. I don't know who that is. That rings a bell now that you say it, but I don't know who that is in bikes. Is he not as much of a ripper in bikes as guys like Washed and stuff like that? Either way, great ride, must be said. 5th place in a pro outdoor moto is nothing to sneeze at, especially when his first moto was 37th. Overall points as they run, Seth Carr, again, still going to get it. Wyatt Grant, Ben Nerona now tying for 2nd overall, but of course Grant with the moto win would get it unless Nerona gets Carr late here, which is definitely not out of the question. Here is Braden Carter checking in with him late as the white flag waves out front. And Carter, 13th in the first moto, 7th in the second moto. It doesn't look like a great day on paper, and the reality is that it's not, I guess, but Carter, not an outdoor guy, playing on his laptop, which isn't as high quality as what he has at home, in Florence, Italy at 5 in the morning right now. on vacation with his family. I think he'll take a 13-7 day and live to fight once again to still be in this championship hunt just a bit. So good on him. Valiant to stay the course and do the deed, as Nerona's not out of the woods of his teammate yet. Matherly wants another shot at third here. Wants to go 4-3 and get as many of the championship points back in his favor as he can. Oh, and that's going to help because Nerona high centers on a rut at the bottom of the hill, and Matherly is back on through. Well, we'll go back to this man on what is now a victory tour for him on this final lap of the race. 25 seconds in the lead. Can't say he didn't earn it. Boy, oh boy, did he earn it here tonight at Hangtown. It's not going to be for the overall win, and it looks like he'll be left to settle with second on the day after his fifth in Moto 1. But this is perhaps the most exciting Moto win of the season we've already had in this short two-round championship thus far. And it comes at the hand at Wyatt Grant, man. What a ride. Pushing Seth Carr all the way to the end, breaks him in the end, and walks away to win. Moto 2 at Hangtown goes to Wyatt Grant, second overall. What a day for the 27, his third career Moto win as well. And Carr will say, you can have this one, sunshine. I'll take the red plate with me to Thunder Valley, which he absolutely will do. It's going to be the overall win for the one. District Designs back with the red plate again, but it's not Braden Carter. It's Seth Carr who wins the Hangtown National with a 1-2 day. His ninth career overall win. And the red plate goes back to the number one machine as we head to Colorado next week. Matherly will get third. It is a 4-3 day for him. And wow, actually Nerona's going to go down late here. Could this put Matherly on the overall podium with Partillo going by? Oh, Partillo is just absolutely cooking himself right there. Nerona goes back by after Partillo just could not get off the rut. And Nerona will indeed end up in fourth. Does he stay there? Yes, he does. Partillo doesn't get him on penalties. Lang gets all the way back to sixth. Good on him there to do that. Salvage some points. Carter 7th, Blakely 8th, Cooper Hunt 9th, Ash Steering 10th, barring any late penalties here. RNG, baby, run and gun. Steering does indeed end up in 10th, Jeremy Seabolt 11th. 9-11 day for Seabolt after being outside of the points by a lot. Hunter Ash 12th. Braden Castellaneta 13th. Adam Holm 14th. He'll take that. Brandon Larson 15th. Tucker Zimmerman, the last guy on the lead lap, in 16th. Schiabro lap down 17th. Spicer 18th. Evan Holt 19th. Devin Ryan 20th. And Nicholas Langstrip in 21st. Wyatt Grant wins the moto. Seth Carr wins the overall, and those plates will go back to being red when we head a mile high to Lakewood, Colorado next week for the Thunder Valley National. There's your overall for today. Carr, Grant, Nerona, Matherly, Lang, and Braden Carter settles for 9th overall, but again, he will live to fight another day. You got points for us, iMoto, real quick? Can we bop that up on the screen by chance, just so we could review that? I don't know if you do or not, but we'll just talk about that real quick, because again, Carr will take over the red plate. And then it will be, I believe, Cade Matherly second in the standings. Hey, shout out Blake Fisher, $5 donation. Says, you the man. No, you guys are the man, and really you are, because thank you so much for that donation. It makes it worthwhile for us to come back and stream the outdoors a little bit here. Again, we won't be able to do all of them, but we'll do the ones that we can. And so far through 2 rounds, I feel like we've done an adequate job of covering the series. No? Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the show. I suppose iMoto is currently setting up the results in Race Factory, so we'll jump back out of that and go back to our webcam. Whoa, darkness. Got really dark in here, apparently. Let's boost the old... There we go. A little bit brighter in here. All right, so that will do it for us here. Round 2 of the Great Outdoors here from Hangtown. Pro Motocross done and dusted, and what a night of racing, man. We had 4 different moto winners across both classes, 2 different overall winners from the opening round that are different, and now 2 different red plate holders leaving and going to Thunder Valley next week than we had coming into this week. So incredible stuff, and massive shout out to our winners tonight, Seth Carr and Elliot Person. They will be our red plate holders heading into next week, as we said. And can't wait to see it. We'll be back same time, same place here for the Thunder Valley National. That'll be the last one I do for a little bit. Whoa, holy crap. Splash gifting 5 Tier 1 subs real quick here at the end in chat. Handing it over to who we got. Who's new to the group? TG Photo, MK Billion, Gooby1411, Scrats, and Clintos. So thank you so much, Splash, for the support, man. SPX Suspension, check them out. They are on board the SYS Racing team for the MX Bikes program this year. Hoping to launch that team soon. Shout out my guy Saru for all the work he's doing behind the scenes. But yeah, we'll be there soon. So again, thanks everyone for tuning in. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. We'll be back for Thunder Valley next week. Again, thanks to Race Factory Gaming and everybody behind the scenes for all the work they do. Can't wait to see you guys in Colorado. So long for now.